game. Hey, what's going on, everybody? And thanks for joining us again. We are live. Today on the docket, what are we talking about? Today, first, we're starting with a YouTuber catches a felony charge for pyrotechnics in one of his videos. And I think that'll make for a fun, interesting conversation. But I think the one that's going to be the most dense in the heart of today's episode is the WNBA versus Caitlin Clark. I think this poor lady is just taking blows left and right, and she just can't catch a break, even though she's the heart and soul of a league that has never had attention before. But we're going to wrap the whole episode up with a fun one, and be sure to play along because that's what makes this whole thing worth it. Playing the game, Are You Old Yet? 2. We're doing it for a second time because the first time was just so darn fun, seeing how old my co-host David is. But that being said, I can't do it without my co-host and the rest of this crew. So, David, how you doing, my friend?
Doing good. Welcome, good people of the internet. And I think you're doing these games just to spite me. See how I just fail at every single one of them. Trust me, I'm not that old, but we're going to find out tonight. I'm actually a lot older than I think I am. That's going to be wild. And I also have a bone to pick with you, Alex. We are 2 weeks in a row where we have some breaking, dare I say, relevant news that is not being talked about on this show.
Oh, this one we have to talk about.
We have to talk about this.
We have to talk about it. Well, first, let's bring in Brian. Brian, we can't do it without you. The man behind the keys, Brian Seymour.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Be Rizzle My Shizzle on TikTok here. Getting ready to add some more climbing videos and maybe some nature hikes. I don't know. I haven't prepped anything, but I think I got something in the works.
Oh,
I mean, who knows these days what I'll put out there, but yeah, let's get this show rolling.
no, he's not going to do it. And he did it. He did it. Check out Rethink Actions. That's the intro to Rethink Actions, our live show that goes on every Sunday. Brian Seymour, everybody. We're going to get 100% one of these times. All right,
you, Bri.
David's chomping at the bit. It's not one of the title cards for today, but of course we can't do this episode without talking about some of the most breaking news. It comes down the hill, but honestly, it'll be forgotten tomorrow because it just doesn't matter. I want to put it out in the ethos to the Peanut Gallery 2 if you jump in. I told David we are only allowed to talk about this topic right here, but no one is allowed to say his last name. We all know his last name. It's the big guy. It's the big guy's son.
The big guy.
Yeah, everybody knows the big guy. It's the big guy's son. All right, so Hunter got convicted on all 3 charges. Lay out the details for us, my friend.
All right, so the big issue that Hunter did, he did a little no-no. So when you buy a brand new gun at a gun store, you will fill out a little thorough piece of paperwork, and they ask you very specific questions such as, are you an illegal alien? Have you been convicted of a felony? And are you addicted or do you use drugs? Well, our buddy Hunter said he did not use drugs, nor was he addicted to drugs. Later that day, he decided to tell just about every woman he was sleeping with at the time, hey, I'm doing crack. Would you like to join me? So, this was a pretty open and shut case. I'm a little surprised they took this one to trial. That whole laptop situation he had, it kind of bit him in the ass, so to say. So now he's going to be convicted. He might go to jail, maybe not. But I have a hot take.
Oh,
you want to get the hot take banner up here?
Oh yeah,
Hot
we're ready for that.
Mr. Hunter here. I think it's bullshit. I think he should be a free man.
What?
I don't think he did a crime at all. Oh yeah. I subscribe to the notion that all gun laws are against the Second Amendment. And even if you're on crack and buy a gun, that should be allowed. I don't care.
I agree. I give you that.
There we go. Look at that.
I give you that.
We're reaching across the aisle here for this show.
I still think you celebrate June, but that's its own thing.
That's its own thing. That's a different topic.
Okay. Hot take. I'll give it to you. There's a fair point there. But where laws still exist, they do apply to the kings and their sons. Go figure. So this comes back to even like the marijuana laws. Everybody's all skipping and dancing down the roads because now you'll be able to go to the store and get exactly what you want. We should just let all of the criminals out that broke the laws. Here's the thing. You may not like the laws, but that's why you should just work hard to be, a functioning member of society that can impact the laws. So if you don't like the law, change the law. I know easier said than done, but again, functioning members of society, it's easiest for us to say that. So I suggest that route because you cannot deny the folks that are struggling with the ramifications of breaking the law was that there was a line drawn and they broke it. I'm not going to sit here and be like, Christ and pretend I'm without sin. We all do it. But I'm also not going to sit here and pretend like, oh, when you get me, oh, shucks, this is a surprise. So this was a law.
Yep.
It applied.
Yep.
And hot take or not, I think the bigger point to take away is the 3-letter agencies that are truly the unvoted for government that pulls the strings. If they're the ones that told us that there is no laptop, it's all Russian disinformation. What do we do when the guy gets convicted on, I don't know, the evidence found on a stolen laptop?
Come on, man.
I don't know. What's your response to that one, Coach?
Well, you want to know how many people were convicted of this exact same crime? And probably I think it was the last about 5 years.
Don't say 0.
12.
12
people convicted of the exact same crime in and of itself. So usually,
wait, hold on. But let's also agree. There are 12 people that would be sitting there going, well, if my last name was the same as his, I wouldn't get in trouble. So shouldn't we, revere the fact that finally laws are applying to the kings along with us, please?
Amen, brother.
Woo!
So this is kind of a be careful what you ask for on this. So mark my words.
They're going to do it with marijuana.
Not only
They
are
do
they
with
gonna,
do it with marijuana.
They do it with medical marijuana.
So
why does Joe Rogan have guns?
we didn't smoke weed. It's all vaping now.
Because it's legal wherever he is, probably.
But it's not federally.
No, it's not fairly legal or not. Yeah, you can still you can buy. Here's the thing: you can buy used guns.
It all comes back to David's hot take. All of it's illegal.
Or
They shouldn't be illegal. It's
unconstitutional.
unconstitutional.
But here's what I'm concerned about.
Please.
They're either going to over police this very specific law now to make it look like this isn't just a political hit job, or they have to admit, well, now the government's just going after either candidates or family members of candidates or friends of candidates it's either a political hit job or a lot more people are going to get convicted of this crime. And the ATF doesn't fuck around. They're like the airlines. They have the complete authority over your autonomy at any given point, and so they choose.
Yeah, that's a scary.
So this is kind of this is the opening of Pandora's box.
Want to make sure our candidates don't have any skeletons in their family closet?
Should we? On one hand, yes,
Will it clear the swamp? Clean the swamp.
Drain.
Drain the swamp. Thank you.
Let's not forget, Hunter Biden is not an elected official, nor does
He
he have.
said his last name. Now we gotta move on. It's all over.
No.
All right. Well, they got justice. We're gonna be sitting here on the edge of our seat. Hey, you know what? We actually got a few more viewers. Maybe the algorithm isn't against us.
All right.
But we're trying. We keep getting flagged as campaign ads, so we're just trying to have a talk where we don't get flagged for once. Living in this Orwellian universe. Yes, the guy that paints to get $500,000 so they could have a talk with the big guy.
Yep.
Yes, I agree with your position that it will bring about unwanted consequences, and retaliation is probably not what we want.
No.
The heart of the point, though, to summarize, this is still always going to be unconstitutional. I prefer my gun owners. Hot take. Facts, though.
You know, if you're gonna deal with two gun owners, one of them's on cocaine, the other one's doing nothing. I'd rather deal with the nothing guy too. Even though I think Mr. Hunter seems a little chill. He's like one of the better cocaine users. He's just having a good time. You're not seeing those videos. He's going down a slide naked.
Yeah, not only is he having a good time though, but he's like, I don't know, leveraging the power of our country for like personal gain in its own weird, sick, addicted way. But it's cool, man. That's just called being an American representative.
He's living the life I think a lot of us wish we could live.
Yeah, true. All right, let's get this show started. I'm going to bring in the Pickle Gallery so then we can introduce our first topic of the day. As we do that, shout out to the people that join us as always, like DC. The whole purpose of the live show is to get you involved. So please be sure to be diving into the comments so we can get your aspect, your perspective, bringing a little aspect to the dialogue here. So again, thanks to DC and everyone in there jumping in the comments. But again, let's bring in the Pickle Gallery, starting with our good friend Ricardo Wright from Just Another Day TV. Ricky, how you doing, my friend?
I'm good, brother. Bless up, everybody. Gonna have a great show today, man. Youngest in the group.
I love those shades.
Hey, thank you. I got them from my boy Savan out in Arizona, man. He sent me some shades.
Hey,
So I appreciate it. Shout out to
it's a way to take it on today.
Yeah. I had to be fashionable for the lady topic. I had brought out the pink hat. You feel me? I brought out the nice shades.
He's doing his walk out to the locker room. That's
yeah.
Pre-show.
You feel me? So I gotta do it for the WNBA. So
lover of men, WNBA players.
All of them. They love men.
They love men.
Shout out to them.
That's key,
they have some serious allegations going on in the WNBA, but that's a topic for another day.
No, that's a topic for today. Just a little bit later.
So
you're getting your wish, Ricky.
Hang on to your seatbelts because we're gonna get there.
Those WNBA women be more aggressive at home than men.
All right. So speaking of the algorithm helping us, that's out the door. But let's bring in our good friend and the other half of the Pickle Gallery here. Let's say hey to Silent Destroyer. Silent.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Thank you so much for having me. As always, I'm very excited for this show. This week, the topics are hot. There's a lot of hot takes. There's more hot takes coming, guys. So make sure to stay tuned.
Oh, geez.
Let us know in the comments too what your hot takes are. We read all of them.
You mean abusive lesbian basketball players? Isn't hot enough? That's a
basically speaking, the most violent couples.
A little more.
Right in the heart of launching June. Let's just. All right, so let's get into this first topic. It might come as a surprise, but, YouTubers tend to find themselves in sticky wickets. As always. But YouTuber Alex Choi was doing a video, and he may have caught himself a felony charge just from the pyrotechnics in the video. So first, Brian, if we could start with the video. This is just a little snippet of some of the cool action Alex Choi was doing in his video. Helicopter shooting fireworks at a Lambo. Doesn't get more cooler YouTuber than that. Yeah. We would have showed you more, but it's kind of keep it short, keep it light. Yeah. But again, cool video. As somebody that grew up, making videos as a kid, like, dressing up, playing characters.
Big into the Vine game.
Well before that, like I'm saying, like as a legitimate
casual
child.
cosplaying,
yeah, exactly. Playing as pirates or whatever. You might have a sparkler. I remember when I had water with dry ice. Oh my God, the places my imagination went. And so, like, the kid in me wants to wish that in an America, like if you had the money and this is the libertarian in me. I say this all the time. I don't care who you're effing or what you're smoking on your property. As long as it doesn't impact me on mine, I'm liberal to it. That's really what the American spirit should be. And you want to hope that if you had enough land that wouldn't endanger anybody and you could safely do something like this, you could have a helicopter with fireworks and shooting at a Lamborghini. And there's another aspect to like movies and video. If you recall, what was that movie, Doug, from college with Snoop Dogg and
Mac and Devin go to high school?
there it is. Doug knows it right off the dome.
Jeez.
Expect nothing
Because
less.
we watched it in college. I mean,
Doug lived it. Doug lived it. He loved it. And
said
so,
college and Snoop Dogg. I mean, how many movies was Snoop Dogg in that we watched in college?
all right, Doug, we get it. You love it and you lived it.
Doug, did you watch that in college? I don't think we knew. I was a little confused where you got that process from. Huh?
So this movie, right? It really wasn't legal for them to be doing this, smoking so much marijuana on set at the capacity they were. But at the same time, it's one of those, like, once it's done and over, like, what are you going to do? They had on set the fake stuff. Snoop Dogg was not going to be using the fake stuff. And so, you know, there's stories all the time of like, who's going to tell Snoop Dogg no? And when the movie's over, like, how do you know it isn't the fake stuff?
Yeah.
So they never go. But let's get to the story. Alex Choi does this video. A year later, catches a charge for a felony. The felony being shooting fireworks out of explosives out of a helicopter. Now, what's interesting, this place, this lake in California, it's like in a drained out, abandoned lake. People can pay to get a permit for the day, the week, whatever. It's different prices, but it's cheap. It's like $70, $70 for the day, $90 for the week. And you can take your hot rods out there, and it's for like people that, you know, like those rocket cars that you can like go faster than the speed of sound.
Awesome.
Right, right. So here's this abandoned place that people can take vehicles that aren't like street legal and everything else. But here's where the three-letter agencies that are the unvoted for government, the shadow government that totally controls us, this is where you see a little bit of their talons come out. And it's that the airways, as you brought up earlier, are not a free space. And it's controlled by one of the three-letter agencies that dictates, oh, unless you have our permission, you are not allowed to do that. You're not even allowed to enter the airspace. You know, talk to the drone community, people that have home drones. This is where that world meets this world, right? Where like people just want to fly their drone. I have a home and I'm in no one's way. But if you live too close to an airport, you live too close to a stadium, or, you know, you can't just take it to the park and film. But what's weird is if somebody had an iPhone and you're in a public space, you can just film. So it's like, at what point, oh, it's just flying. Okay. So they got him for flying. They come back a year later, they get him for flying without a strict permission and using this pyrotechnic with it. This being over-policed situation, they're heavily strict on like explosives, especially in like the flying community. So the scary part is, I'm sure the headline, I wasn't really able to find it because I don't even know the guy's name, but yes, YouTuber Alex Choi is under the gun right now. But I can assure you that pilot is probably at odds of losing his license.
Oh, absolutely.
And so there's multiple facets to this question. Going back, what's the statute of limitations? What should it be? Like, how far back can you reach back and find a video and like be like, I found a video of the Rethink Tank where you guys were all together in a space when you weren't allowed to commune with people and you were supposed to be locked down. It's like, whoa. You can't go back and get that. Like, it's like, how far back, what types of laws, you know, he would want to make the argument that, oh, it's just CGI. Like, it isn't real. But like, this is clearly real. But in what world? Like, were you there? Do you have proof of the rocket? Do you have proof of the helicopter? Do you have proof of the flight logs the helicopters were there that day? Maybe you could prove that the helicopter was there, but can you prove that the fireworks were real? I mean, The FBI. So this, I want to season my final point as I launch this off with this. I'm getting really worried about this world where you could create a video with AI of anybody saying anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to a judge and I was like, video being one of the most pivotal pieces of evidence in a courtroom, what are we going to do when we can't distinguish truth from reality or, fake? And very quickly, she was like, well, I'll tell you right now, the FBI has software that can run this and tell us if it's an original or if it's been doctored. And it's like, one, now you've got blind faith in the agencies, and they got your back. Trust me, they care about you more than themselves. And then you also got to trust that it actually works. Yeah. Not only are you trusting that they have your goodwill, but then you also got to trust that they have faith in it, but does it actually work? Is it accurate 100% of the time? Or can there be super good coders that can break this? And of course, coders today say, no, you can't do that. It's like, bitch, you didn't think I could FaceTime grandma on the other side of the world, and we're on a floating rock in space, and I can do that now. So if you took me back with this thing 100 years ago, they'd go, he's a witch, burn him. The dude's an alien, he's a wizard. You say right now it's unfathomable, but we're going to be downloading consciousness into computers before we know it. So it isn't unfathomable to believe that some super tech genius can fake this or beat the three-letter agency's reliable tools that measure these things. So one, when you take that video and they go, it is real, how do you know? Well, let me tell you. I have an expert testify to say to the fact that this three-letter agency software is 100% accurate and it tells us it's an original. Well, guess what? You have failed so terribly in the last 4 years, I don't trust you. And so that is not a reliable source anymore. So one, I'd like to take it's a weak argument. That's the weaker argument. That, taking this I have a shadow of a doubt, just an inkling of a doubt. And it's because I don't trust you. But the second piece is, and this is not a legal argument, but just a human argument, is if we're going to live in a tribe of 350 million people and call it free, we should be allowed to do these things. You should be able to provide me a space where with enough money, I can do this thing. But you can. Oh my goodness, you can. Hollywood does it all the time. Oh my God, girlfriend, you can. You just have to pay us hundreds of thousands of dollars to get a permit from us, Big Daddy. Big Daddy. As long as Big Daddy's getting you can't just go have fun in a desert and get $1 million view video without Big Daddy getting a cut. And it's I hate you. I hate you, and I'm just done giving you a cut. So I think the bigger piece is you're only making this poor kid a felon because you didn't get a cut. Now, I don't want Alex Choi to escape my presentation without kind of dissecting who he really is. Brian, if we could get prepared with the second video, this is the type of kid we are dealing with, right? He has a record of being trouble. And this is a video in the past, taking a Tesla through the Hollywood Hills. If you ever driven through Hollywood, these are super tight, narrow roads. Woo. Yeah. Yikes. Crashes at the bottom. Kush, kush, kapash, kush. So it's okay, we're not dealing with a saint here. Now, He caught a charge for this too, but he was able to get out of it because he said he didn't really know the guy who did that jump before this. He just met him that night and happened to have a whole crew with cameras that were there to catch it. And they just got lucky. They struck gold.
Yeah.
All right. Is it BS? Sure. But at the same time, it's all right, should all of us in this room go down? No. Probably just the dumbass that was behind the wheel, because the guy behind the camera that's making the money that coaxed you into doing it was never going to do that. That kid was never going to do that. That's why he coaxed your dumbass to do it. And you lost your license. You'll probably never vote again. So it's yeah, it does all fall on the kid that is dumb enough to do that. But is that totally damning? Should we totally, remove any chance at redemption because of that video? No. So focusing now on this video, is it worth? Is a felony charge justified? When we're talking about, prior to this, the president's son, who's like doing espionage and quid pro quo with, foreign leaders and smacking crack with hookers. It's like, should this kid lose his right to vote? This is the one that loses the right to vote. All right, now I'll leave it to you guys. What are your thoughts?
I don't think this is necessary. So there is a bit of pattern of behavior here. We're a little reckless just for clout. But it seems like in this particular scenario, this is some of these agencies. It's like when someone goes to the DMV and just loses it because they didn't have the proper birth certificate or the correct paperwork when they have similar paperwork. This is like a situation like, well, we let you fly, we gave you permits to do this, but not fly and use fireworks. That's a different permit.
Yeah,
and,
what?
And it's one of those like, oh, you're a felon now because you didn't fill out proper paperwork. It feels like one of these situations.
Time out, coach. He didn't even do it. He just caught it on film. He just posted it to his YouTube. They're saying, hey, this wild video we got, the evidence we're using to damn citizens of America. Yeah. You're a culprit in it because it's on your channel. You posted it. You filmed it. It's like, one, prove to me. Now, apparently, he took it down, so we really can't corroborate it. Yeah. Smart move, kid. But apparently, there's parts in the video of like him talking about, the behind the scenes. We put this whole thing together. So they got him on the conspiracy of it all. Like, you put this all together. You were the coordinator of this event. But it's like, when you're talking about it, it's like he wasn't even flying the helicopter. He wasn't even shooting, play bombs. Like, let's agree what fireworks are. They're play bombs.
Oh,
we play with bombs every July.
But those look like Roman candles, though, too. Like,
yeah, dude, they weren't even
we
mortars.
shoot those at each other all the time.
I think also the charge was too. It's fireworks in
Facts.
California.
I forgot that piece.
Yeah,
too.
he bought it in Las Vegas.
Yeah,
and
so
the border.
immediately makes it a federal crime.
That is immediately
cross
federal.
These things in state lines. So it's not just.
But did they?
Proper paperwork.
I wonder their proof though. How did they know he bought them there and brought them across? How did they
don't
know
sell them in California?
But how do they know? But how do they know
usually
he bought them, drove them across himself, and supplied them for that video?
Now
it's illegal to
he's
use.
charged.
It's
He isn't
illegal to
convicted,
use them,
right? So that's a major piece of this too. He's being charged with it, and it's all alleged, and he's going to be having his day in court to kind of say his piece.
But most of these real famous, even caliber of YouTubers like us, there's an LLC attached to these things. So who has the majority shares the LLC. Him, the LLC, and who's in charge of it's liable. That's why you can't. A lot of these organizations, well, I don't know what's going on, even though I'm in charge of the entirety of the thing. I don't think that doesn't absolve you of the crime,
right?
Or that you can't,
especially when you're on the video going like, so what we're gonna have him do is get in that helicopter, and then he's gonna fly over the Lamborghini, and they're gonna be going at 60 miles an hour, like. Yeah, yes, you are definitely not.
You're at
from
fault, and at the very least, some conspiracy that this is part of your broader thinking. And
yes.
That argument probably doesn't hold a lot of water.
No, I could agree. Let's get to the pickle gallery. Ricky, what are your thoughts on this crazy YouTuber, Alex Choi?
You just simple get the freaking permits, man. Like, even if it's just a simple video, just get the permit.
I don't think you're getting a permit for shooting fireworks out of a helicopter.
I know, but at least you can get it just to be out there. Whatever you do, you can say, I didn't know this part, but just going out there. And when I watched the clips, they said something about like, oh, pollution and shit. But it's California. Y'all do movies and explosions all the time. What's the big issue? Yes, get the permit. I know they ain't gonna give you. You're gonna have to pay some big bucks.
It's like he got the permit to be at that lake that day. The pilot has the permit to fly the helicopter. He's allowed to be there. What's the agency? I think it's the
FAA.
The FAA. Okay, so you don't have the FAA's permission to shoot fireworks from this vehicle, this flying vehicle, and they are extremely strict on that. I don't, and so to me, Ricky, I like your point, but I think it also emphasizes the thing I keep dancing around, which is how this only protects their gatekeeping. Like Hollywood, only Hollywood can do this, right? Only MGM Studios can have the amount of money and leverage. Like, again, could this kid that has 900 and whatever thousand subscribers drum up the money to maybe do this? Probably. Or, you know, Reddit was really tearing into this poor kid, trust fund baby and blah, blah. Okay. Maybe his dad is rich enough to afford the permit that MGM Studios would get. Does he know the right avenues and people to get there? No. It's streamlined for Universal Studios. For me, the schmuck that what happened to the American
built
dream?
Around those movie companies.
What happened to the American dream, where an American can just start anew? Like, why? Again, you're saying this isn't a monopoly. But the only people that have a streamlined avenue and the funds to enjoy the freedom of movie making at its highest degree are the studios that are fun. Like, again, this is going to come back to the theme of like the next 3 podcasts that I have lined up with these guests. There is a system that is, our president, our government is corporations. And one day we will recognize that and internalize that. That's why it's so important to vote with your views and vote with your dollars. But the truth is, they don't care about you. You're not a corporation. That is the government. Yeah. So I love your point, but it's like, you don't think the kid tried? The kid saw, wait, my permit, $90, I can rip it and do whatever I want in an abandoned desert. There's no one around, so nobody can get hurt. There's no Karens that are going to call on me. You're telling me a guy can roll up in a rocket car and break the sound barrier. A guy next to me can have a Mad Max car that's just launching fire out the side of it, right? Right? Like it's just Elon Musk fire hoses out the side. Yeah. And you just get pissed at my fireworks the second I go 20 yards up
in the air.
Now we've got a problem. Now I can do this whole exact same scene. I can have a Lamborghini being chased by, I don't know, a Volkswagen Bug that's shooting fireworks at the Lamborghini being chased by a drone. The only thing that breaks you having any freedom, you are never allowed to vote again, is a human being in the drone and the fireworks coming from the drone. That's the only element that changes and means you can't ever vote again. Yep, I applaud America. That makes sense. Freedom.
That is stupid that you lose like a lot of privilege becoming a felony if he is convicted. But sometimes you just gotta do what's right, man. You're a great advocate for doing what's right. Even he got the permit, but like blame it on CGI. For real. Blame it on CGI. CGI is so good. I don't know. You said the FBI have the software to fucking debunk it. And you made a great point earlier too. He wasn't flying, he wasn't driving. He's just the director. You know what I mean? He's just the director.
Listen,
Someone
dude,
paid
if
him
I
to
can
be
get
there.
Doug in a helicopter with fireworks, that ain't my fault. That's Doug. Doug is wildin'.
But I would also do
That's
it
on the
willingly
pilot
because that'd be fun
for not
as hell.
knowing.
I would do it willingly. There would be no forcing me. I would do it because I've also never been in a helicopter. So if you were going to pay for me to ride in a helicopter and also shoot off fireworks, hell yeah.
Yeah, that's on the pilot too. Like he's taking her. This is your helicopter.
But to do this whole thing.
You know, so if the pilot want to do it at his own risk his helicopter and everything, that they should take that up with him, not the kid that organized. If the pilot should know better, know all the rules the FAA enforce, so he can fly, and firing explosions out of the helicopter is not one of them. You gotta do better, bro. That's not on the
someone
kid.
who's directing firing fireworks out of a helicopter is probably playing a little fast and loose with the rules. I know they're probably not crossing their T's and dotting their I's. They're just they're crossing their fingers, hoping. Well, I hope nothing fails here.
Maybe when he went in to meet with a prosecutor to like pay a fine, and they didn't like his answer, so they're not charging him criminally. You know what I mean?
That could be.
You can plead it down. I won't be a felon, but I'll pay a fine.
I mean, David's right. I mean, this is the perfect embodiment of ask for permission, or ask for forgiveness, not permission. Yeah. I mean,
Facts.
Just do it. Just do it. But that would have, honest to goodness, if I had a helicopter, I wanted this scene in like my clip, and we just had the means, it'd be like, all right, I'll say so. Like, let's do it, and then deal with the problems when they come. And then the problems come, and I got real big ones.
As long as no one dies or get injured, we're good.
Felony makes for a good headline too.
It does. And
hell, if we were a Rethink Tank got a felony for X, Y, and Z, I might be posting that too. Let's build some clout. Well, we'll reduce it down a little later. Yeah, the judge found our trial to be a little phony. So, but we were convicted for a felony.
We're felons.
Well, none of us need to be felons, bro. We're good.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Silence Destroyer, what are your thoughts, my friend?
Okay, hot take. This is just a power grab by the 3-letter agencies. Woo! None of this would have happened had someone not complained. This video went viral. Someone got upset and complained, and that's why these 3-letter agencies now have to actually do something and press charges on Alex Choi.
Let me ask you on your point about that. Do you think it is a disgruntled viewer, like a viewer that reported it? Or do you think it just, the video itself just got so large that it got on their radar and they saw an opportunity that they could take? Because truthfully, it feels like, and you might resonate with this, they want, because of Project Paperclip, we know that the cable news networks are in bed with those 3-letter agencies. So if you don't think they are promulgated or inclined to deter Silent Destroyer, the Rethink Tank, Just Another Day TV, independent content creators from taking away the bottleneck of attention and audience they have owned for 50, 60 years. So to me, I want to be hopeful that just a bitch somewhere threw them under the bus and it takes one to ruin it for everybody. But deep down in the pit of my loins, it feels like there is a target practice on independent creators. There are too many of them. They're like locusts. They're popping up everywhere. And it's what the people want because it's natural. It's innate. You want what's true, what's real. You may not even agree with it, but you know it's not lying to you. And you know that it has good interest in its heart. So you also relate to it. You can't relate to MSNBC or Fox News anymore. It's just so fake, so commercial, so manufactured. So do you think it's a disgruntled viewer, or could it possibly be Big Brother's intervention?
I think it's a combination of the two. I think the video got so large that it got, like what Ricky just said, it got up all the way on the radar of these agencies. And then probably somebody up top, someone rich, maybe some Hollywood sort of executive or some sort of person that doesn't like that YouTubers can just, rent out a space in the middle of the desert where they're hurting nobody and nobody's hurt and none of that. It's like, oh, well, maybe they should get the right permits. Oh, they need safety crew on crew. Oh, they can't just turn on the camera and get a helicopter and shoot fireworks. No, they need to go through the right procedures and the right red tape first in order to do that. And they probably just got mad that this guy just didn't do any of that. And he probably crushed the views that they normally would get doing that kind of stuff.
Part of that. Yeah.
So
I
think
that's what it was. A studio did this.
And it's a combination of those two things, in my opinion, I think is what caused this, right? Because I think a lot of these Hollywood studios and executives, they know that YouTube and social media is crushing them. It's stealing attention away from them, right? And because of that, they get salty. Like when they see videos like this go viral, it's like, oh, wait, hey, hold on a second. He's using fireworks. Oh, he's using this. Oh, he didn't use this kind of permit. Call this guy in this 3-letter agency. Let him know. See if we have a case here. Let's shut this down. We don't want this guy to do a part 2 where he gets 2 Lambos or 2 Ferraris or 2, Bugattis or whatever it is that they try to do next, because that's the whole point of Alex Choi. Like, if you guys watch his channel, I've been watching him like since he started making videos. All of his viral stunts that go very, very viral are extremely controversial. You know, like he builds like an off-road Lambo. He goes crazy with like drifting at drifting places. He literally like dismantles a Lambo and puts a exoskeleton on it. It's all controversial stuff made to go viral. Like, he's a smart kid. He knows exactly what he's doing in terms of viral content. And I think at the end of the day, that pisses off enough people in Hollywood to where they know that they could just call 3-letter agencies and shut this guy down within one phone call. And they know they have the power of that. Like what Doug said, like they
at least call
built
him out on a
California.
technicality.
Right.
Well, I got a follow-up for you then, Sound Destroyer. So speaking of viral content, I want to route to a different inquiry because, you know, I can get quite cynical about these agencies, and I don't want that to totally consume the point. Yeah. And, you know, in a optimistic world where we truly think, you know, maybe they actually do care about us, or there maybe some kind of concern for the people, where we actually do, right? Like where we actually want to put a mindset to the community, the society. Could you see a policy reason for wanting to stand against or prevent viral content that causes harm to society? Because what we learn is there will be copycats. Yep. So if this guy can get away with this today and get 3 million views, the next person that can get their hand on a helicopter is throwing fireworks on that bitch, regardless of where they're at. Like, this guy got the permit to go to an abandoned lake. The next thing, like, here's the deal. When you have, you know, viral content of people going to your grocery stores and opening the ice creams and
licking
it
and
all that crap.
Or you're dropping the milk on the aisle.
Right. Yes, that one. Remember, you take like gallons and smash them. It's like, okay, I could see coming harder down on that to send a message to the community that there is no tolerance for this because of the overall impact it has en masse.
Because I think the fireworks in particular, especially in California, you have the issue with the wildfires. So
shoot!
He may not.
That's a good point.
He may think he's in some sort of lake and like he's looking for miles around. Yeah, this should be good. There's no trees around here. Sometimes you just don't know,
dude. I want to double down on his point. You know what I saw in a video today? You know that like really choppy, like ugly, crappy mulch, like the big black chunks.
Oh yeah,
like the compost.
Yeah.
This guy living in like the desert. He was like in Texas or Arizona. He was in Arizona. He was like, when I was a kid, I would play in the mulch, like because they lived by a landscaper, it'd be giant piles. And he said his mom would always yell at him, "Stop! You'll catch the mulch on fire." Well, when they were shoveling it, just the friction. It's so hot and it's so dry. Just the friction of laying mulch cut the mulch on fire.
Yep.
So it's like, dude, you may not even be next to what you think you could catch on fire. You're in a desert that like is so compromised,
bone dry,
that it's you're not used to how easy it can happen.
Yeah, and you just don't know. You don't know what you don't know, and part of the regulations is to help with that. Especially, I think the firework thing in particular is to prevent any of that. That's why they don't allow it in states. Why it's illegal to shoot it off. That's why California is one of my favorite states. So you don't have any late night fireworks going on.
The in-house Democrat loves the place with no freedoms. So, Silent Destroyer, you being a fan of Alex Choi, is he from California?
Yes, I think he's from California. He grew up there. He is, like what the haters say, he is technically a trust fund kid, but I don't think any of that honestly matters.
No.
I just think at the end of the day, this is just a dude who, like you said, has the funds, has the means to do these nice viral clips. He saw an opportunity and he took it. You know, it's kind of like you guys said, like he knew that he only had to get like a certain permit to do this. Obviously, now they're building a case against him where, oh, you didn't have the right permits. You got this permit, but you didn't get that permit. And obviously, they're gonna
government.
right, like they're gonna go after him now. I don't think they have a case, honestly. I think Alex is probably gonna hire good lawyers that are gonna get him out of this. But I guess only time will tell, and we shall see. But at the same time, too, I think what this goes to show is, like I said, once a lot of the big corporate executive companies get threatened by stunts like this, and this is clearly what this is, like I don't think there's denying that. They have the power to make the phone calls and make these people pay for the consequences. Even though, as we saw in the video, I don't know if you guys saw the original video when it came out last year, no one was hurt. Everybody had a blast. Everybody was having fun. They did it out in the middle of the desert. Nothing bad happened. Everybody was good to go,
So keep Silent Destroyer up there. We're going to go around the room here for our wrapping thoughts on the subject. We'll start with you, but I want to propose, there seems to be a tear in balancing person or priorities here. One, we should want to live in a world where an independent can compete with the conglomerate. So an independent needs to be able to create a video that MGM can. And in fact, it needs to be easier. It needs to be easier. And here's the sick part. If you're going to rule in the court of law that corporations are citizens and it gives them the rights of citizens, then they need to be able, and again, you're talking about social democracy. This is when your communism needs to come in, and you need to create a foundation where the independent can equally compete with MGM. You shouldn't have more hurdles for them, or even if it's the same amount, it shouldn't be more difficult to achieve. Now, that all being said, that's balanced with the public interest. And so lawmakers and the consideration of our society need to take into account policy that deters and prevents the snowballing of dangerous behavior that can be peddled by viral content. So, throwing it to you, Silent Destroyer, for wrapping thoughts. How do you deal with that dynamic? Where do you come up with an answer in that? And then please wrap up your thought on the subject.
For sure. I think there needs to be some sort of balance, right? Because if Alex had just gotten the right permits, none of this would have been a big deal, right? Obviously, like you said, he tried to, and he did what he had to do to enter that park, to be able to drive in it, to be able to fly the helicopter, and to be able to let those fireworks go off, right? Obviously, he did the right thing, and no one seemed to care at the time, because like I said, this was a year ago. So clearly when he did it, no one seemed to care. The people that own that land or the desert or whatever, they didn't seem to care, because they let him in and they let him bring the helicopter and they let him bring the fireworks, and nobody made a big deal out of it, right? So I think in order to find a balance between those things, the law then needs to find a balance to where, okay, is this content hurting people? Does it hurt people to go into the desert and shoot fireworks? No, it doesn't. Does it hurt when we, smash gallons of milk at the grocery store, or open a bucket of ice cream, a pan of ice cream, and spit in it or lick it? Yes, it does. Those people need to be prosecuted for sure. But I think that's what the law needs to make. It needs to make a clear statement to where if you want to create viral content, as long as it's not harming you or those around you, it should be permitted. That's my hot take.
I could totally.
As long as you got the right permits too. If you need permits, go get the right permits, pay the fees, pay for the permits, set all that up. But once that's set up, you can't come back a year later and say, oh yeah, you got that permit, but you didn't get this permit. So, because I think that's
agree
BS.
Entirely. That's a fair way of putting it. Let's get to Ricky. Ricky, what are your wrapping thoughts on this whole big deal here?
Everything Silent said, 100% right. But if I didn't go through any of the hoops and I did it, right? I did my video and I didn't get caught in the act. It shouldn't. You said it earlier. There should be a statute of limitation on like how long can you see my video online and try to prosecute me.
Right.
That's pretty
See
much
here,
it
but
because
Ricky, just for philosophy's sake, right?
yeah,
Let's challenge the idea. Let's wrestle with thoughts a bit.
yeah.
What if it's a video like we have this problem that Facebook, like again, Mark Zuckerberg, billion-dollar businesses have to sit down and go, all right, we're making shitloads of money and people are loving people going live. But do you recall about like 8 years ago, there was the first time a guy on Facebook roamed around on live killing people.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he went
Yeah.
far. He got a
Yeah,
lot of
He's
people.
Cleveland.
So like
He's
there's
Cleveland.
something to be said. At first, my knee-jerk reaction is we should just be allowed to say all these videos are fake. You can't use them against us, whatever. But again, the crime here to us feels harmless. But the law is there because it can cause harm. And so we need to look at it as law being broken. We may not agree with this law or we may not think it's so bad, but what if the video was an execution? That changes this entirely. So at some point you got to go, all right, I see the state's position. The law was broken. I want, as you know, I'm on YouTube. You're seeing me on YouTube. I want to be able to do what that guy did. But I also have to see from a lawmaker's perspective, like the line was drawn. You may not like the line, but we do need to enforce the rules when those lines are crossed. I don't know. So what are your thoughts if we were to change that element?
But murder is murder. There's no timestamp on murder.
Yeah.
You upload it or not.
It is true.
Murder
There's
is
no statute of
murder.
limitations.
Yeah, like there's different circumstances. You know what I mean? Like the law should. I believe in the Constitution where like it should be flexible. Like amendments are there for a reason. You know what I mean? They install amendments for a
living
reason.
document.
So, yeah. So I feel like
That's
it
how it's
should
passed.
be like flexible. Like if no one was harmed, it's a video of even if it was a prank and no one was harmed, it was with no one. Like I don't know how you do a prank. It's your family and you do something. Your mom get a little, God forbid, a quick heart attack. She ain't die. So you should be charged for like scaring your mom. You're just trying. It was
Right.
no like, you know what I mean? Like after a certain time and there was no harm, no foul done. I
Wait,
wouldn't
so
call.
Ricky,
Oh, cop
let's not
pulled
just
up.
totally escape this point. You've
Yeah.
seen the guy that dresses up like a bush on the street of Las Vegas, and then he jumps
Facts.
out at people. And most people have a sense of humor. And even when they pee their pants, they go, ah, ha, ha, jokes are jokes.
Yep.
But then you got people that even after like the initial startle, they are embarrassed, whatever. They start swinging. It becomes physical. What if you're making a YouTube viral video? You have literally just been doing this for 3 hours. Your video is
But-
pretty much done. You've got all the clips you need. You do one last one, and the lady seizes and hits the ground.
But see, that's the risk you're taking an unwilling subject that's not in your home. Like, you know, people you know, that's a stranger. If you get punched in the face off that initial response, that's a risk you're taking. Like,
Right.
that's on you. If a cop pull up when you're setting off fireworks, a forest, wild ranger pop up, what do you call those guys? Rangers?
Sure.
Forest rangers?
Troopers,
Yeah,
whatever.
they pop up while you're shooting off fireworks, give you a ticket, take your ass to jail, cool. You got a court date. But if it's after, there was no trash, there was no damage.
It's fair.
Come on now. Don't be in your cubicle, see jealous, scrolling on YouTube. You're supposed to be working, but you scroll on YouTube, saw my video, call your boss up. Hey boss, what is this? Is this okay? Can we do something? Call over to the prosecutor office. Let's see. Call Kathy. You know, like that's bullshit.
I agree. I love that. All right, Dougie Fresh. Rapping thoughts. What do you got for us?
So I have a couple things here. One thing is like firework things with this guy, a whole different thing, cross the state line, all that crap. But like if the pilot had a license to fly the helicopter, what's the harm? Because like CEOs, all these companies, they have helicopter pads. Like you think the CEO, when he on a whim, he goes, take me to the airport. I want to,
Yeah,
fly.
we're pretending
But
like these big wigs don't do that same shit.
Yeah.
Like I have a
they
helicopter.
just get in a helicopter and go. What about these private citizens? Like where my house is, there used to be a landing strip. This dude owned a whole stretch of land behind my house. He had his own private plane. He'd fly and take off from this little grass strip.
Wait, hold on. I want to get to Doug's point. What if I'm a billionaire? I have a helicopter and I own an Epstein Island. I have so much privacy on the island. Not only do I have a child ring going on, nobody knows about, but I can also just get away with making any YouTube video I want.
Yeah.
Legally, because I am the czar of my island. I'm my own government on my island. So in a world where this video could be made legally outside of the permits of your gatekeeping, right? My helicopter on my private island. If this is all under the presumption of innocence, and it is your responsibility to prove me guilty, why do I need to supply where I did this? Like this kid in his own defense was like, wait, but I did it at Lake so-and-so with the permit. I should go, wait, you need to prove that it was in even your airspace and you were deserving of a permit. If there is even an inkling of a possibility that this could be like, use your imagination, it could be done in this world outside of your permit, then you need to prove I did it in your airspace, breaking your permit. So again, I'm going to have a podcast coming up with this philosopher who talks about true crime. I think we're going to have a lot of parts where we kind of butt heads, but there's one thing he really champions, and it's that we've lost the fact that we are innocent and you have the burden of proving me guilty.
Wasn't that why I have a black box on like helicopters and planes to like literally record everything?
Everything it does.
So I think you do when you.
But you need to prove that was this helicopter.
Well, that's like the black boxes are unique
is
onto
the cockpit. So that pilot's just flying like normal. So he ain't going, oh my God, look at all the flames.
Right. Your black box is not proving there were fireworks.
Well, that's where the video camera comes in, and that's how he got in trouble in the first place.
But can you truly truly prove it was this plane registered to that box? Like, again, you need to prove it. I don't need to prove that I was innocently using my helicopter.
The court
He
can
was definitely
subpoena evidence.
innocently
It's
using
not
No,
just pure-
the court can subpoena this helicopter that seems to be the helicopter in your video, and they can subpoena the records for the box in that video or in the helicopter that is allegedly used in that video. But you need to prove that I didn't CGI it or use a Saudi prince's helicopter painted to look like this pilot's copter in Los Angeles. Like, you need, they're in a world where a Saudi prince can have his own desert and his own helicopters, and I could paint a helicopter to look exactly like that helicopter in California. You need to prove that the one that has its registered black box in your world is the one I made in this video. And I don't know how you draw that nexus.
Well, I think as a lawyer, you should probably know too that you need to defend yourself as well. This isn't just, well, you got to prove everything.
No. That is the reality.
Evidence. You must.
The reality is we have left the world of being innocent and the burden being on the prosecution. Totally. Now it is, you need to prove we detained you. We detained you and we think you're so guilty. You have to pay us money just to even go outside until you're proven guilty with a bond. So we have really departed from the world of innocent till proven guilty, because you're right. As a lawyer, we do know that we have to prove our innocence, because you're not innocent until proven guilty. Damn it, you're guilty. Now show us you're not.
Well, I can build a case against you, and you have to build an opposite case, and then in front of a jury, and yada yada yada, we go down. So, but I think there's beyond. The preponderance of the evidence is that the legal definition would be here.
Well,
he's got enough going against it. Like, yeah, you're probably in a felony, so we can negotiate a term down, so you're not a felon. But
see, the preponderance of the evidence is so that you can be indicted, proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt is the heightened standard for conviction. I could have the lower standard to indict you, and there's the common legal colloquial term that a grand jury could indict a ham sandwich. So yeah, preponderance of the evidence is cute, but we're talking about beyond a reasonable doubt, which is still on the burden of you, the state. And so you need to prove that this helicopter was not a replica in the Saudi desert. Doug, please finish.
Alex, everything you've just said goes into my other 2 points. Like, these were just more statements than my helicopter point. All right. Alec Baldwin is the executive producer of the Rush shooting. He is being charged for the negligence of someone else on his set. So it goes with, you were like, well, he was just the director. Why is he? Well, Alec
But he
Baldwin,
was innocent. He was proven innocent.
No, Alec Baldwin's going to court.
No,
still.
he was already.
But he's getting charged again.
No.
He's going to
I don't know if you
of the
saw recently,
criminal
Doug.
charge.
But he's
Within the last
acquitted.
week?
He's good.
He's good?
Alec
Because
Baldwin
there
is
was all
good.
that of the new stuff. So.
Alec Baldwin is good, and it was the lady that was the arms
the
handler.
Gutierrez,
The arms
the
handler
armor-
is the one
armor.
that was convicted.
But like they're now. Last I saw, they're talking about still charging him with something like
This
another
is probably,
trial and
a
using
civil
her
case
stuff.
now. Criminally,
Yeah.
he is found innocent.
But like that's my point, though. Is the director? They tried to, he was the executive producer of all that, and also the guy that shot the gun. But they tried to get him fully responsible more because he was in charge of everything. But then my last point is someone mentioned in the comments about Snoop Dogg not being a felon. My favorite meme ever is the Snoop Dogg with Martha Stewart. And it says, one of these people is a felon. Don't judge a book by its cover. And it's Martha Stewart is a felon. Snoop Dogg, not a felon. And that's, so someone commented on that. And that just reminded me of that. And it makes me laugh every time I think about it. It's like, yeah, Snoop Dogg's not a felon. But your sweet little white Martha Stewart, she is.
And so is Alex Choi. All right. Yeah. So for my wrapping thoughts, it'll be this, because we'll end with David leading to Brian. Okay. I think Silent Destroyer and Ricky hinted to a strong point, and it was kind of the major crux to what Silent Destroyer presented. With boiling it all down, distilling it to one point, it's the center of this is all over governing. Like, if Silent Destroyer is going to sit here and go, should have just paid the permit, and Ricky goes, you got to go through the hoops, and the guy to my right says fireworks are illegal. Like, at some point it's okay, but all of this, like all the things you're leaning on that damn this kid, all are also a sentiment of like, well, then we're not free. Like, also just admit, like, this is overextension into our freedoms. And so again, this comes back to the first point I brought up, which is the marijuana laws. Like, you may disagree with them, but at the time at which you broke the laws, they were illegal. And yes, you can have silent protests and just take the action itself. And sometimes that's a best way of voting is just living your life. And we present a world that's mostly free to where you can get away with that to a certain degree.
Certain extent.
But it's just crazy. The permits. Okay, let's just break down the permit point here. He got a permit to be in the desert. He just didn't have enough permits. You got it from the national wildlife people, the local wildlife people that manage this lake territory. You may have gotten another permit to be videoing in California, whatever. You've got the permit through the license of this pilot to fly this helicopter in this location. You just don't have the next one. Well, how hard was it to get? How expensive was it? With all of those questions being presented, the truth really is, maybe we need to ask ourselves, is this one too many permits? Is this one too many government intervention or policy policing? So in a world where MGM and Universal Studios and Disney can create this exact scene to the T legally, what would it take for an independent creator to do that? And if it's money or if it's connections, either one of those, if the expense is out of trust fund baby Alex Choi's length or grasp, then it's surely out of the Rethink Tank's grasp. Like, we can't compete with MGM and Disney if the trust fund baby can't. And so I think my bigger point, it was fun kind of just balancing the two sides. Is it society policy to protect, copycats, or should we stand up for independent creators? Casting that even consideration aside, my focus point is going to be if an independent creator was not able to reach the echelon that allowed him to legally do this, but in this same world, MGM, Disney, or Universal could. That next step, the next tier that separates us, the plebe, and them, the gatekeepers, in a line of legality, then clearly that's the last step that needs to be done away with. That's the overgoverning. That's my proof of overgoverning. If a kid can get all the permits, get a pilot, do this all legally, and then there's just one last rung that makes it illegal, well, then it comes back to, my tinfoil hat point that I make all the time. And it's that these 3-letter agencies that are outside of our votes and outside of our control that can make laws. Like, that's how I wanted to wrap my point. Thank you for talking so long that you reminded me. The point is this. If you didn't like something that the 3-letter agency made, just get the permit. Go through the hoops. What if I don't like that hoop? What if none of us actually voted for that hoop or support it? I inquire to the people, how do you go about changing it? How do you go about, oh, you can't? Oh, you can't. It's so removed from your will, the people. Then it really should emphasize how illegal agencies are. Like how outside of the Constitution they creating these has been. And it's a snowball effect. You have agencies creating agencies. And so my piece is you have created a world where an independent creator cannot compete. So this is now the monopoly that is, the antithesis to everything our market stands for. And so I have no problem with intervention, but it needs to be fair and it needs to mirror the will of the people. And I think in a world where we all get to have our independent vote on independent issues, whether we ever get to see that or not, I think they fear our will because they would see that we truly would support it being easier for us. And again, then they lose their control on the gatekeeping, which is exactly what they don't want. So I leave it to you.
So I don't think even if you are an independent creator, you should be above the law or above the rules in which we apply ourselves. So if MGM, Disney, whoever have the time, resources, and ability to be able to follow the rules, they're probably also held accountable to the rules too. If they're doing the exact same thing, and for the sake of the argument, let's assume a world in which they are in fact held accountable to the same standard this kid is, then what makes you, just because you're poorer than me, you get to go around the rules? That's what we're talking about here. It's because
but the only way to not be too poor to compete and play in this world and do it legally is you have to own 9 Star Wars movies, 45 Marvel movies, every princess that has ever walked the face of the earth. That's the only world you can afford legality.
Yeah. So that brings me to my next point then too. There is, as much as we don't like regulations, there is reasons for them. And sometimes it may not always be obvious. So in this case with California, if we have fireworks that go out there, it could be a butterfly effect that causes the next wildfire. And now our taxpayer dollars are going to fighting a wildfire because this kid went in a helicopter and shot some Roman candles off at a Lamborghini. Well, that doesn't seem fair, does it? And the reason some of that permit may be really expensive is because of all the steps you need to take to make sure that doesn't happen. And at a certain point, I think Disney has the resources, the ability to be able to do that. This kid who's just kind of flying a helicopter over a Lamborghini, just hoping things don't go wrong. I don't trust our wildfire, or I don't trust our natural parks to his decision making. And then that leads me to my last topic, my last idea. YouTubers don't do a whole lot of things to gain sympathy from the public. They're not exactly you hear YouTuber like, just some rich asshole just doing some prank videos and causing
but
a ruckus.
Also, it's Silent Destroyer's point. What made him famous? All of his videos being like outlandish, rash videos. So if that is, this comes back to why I brought up the policy piece. Like, you need to have a policy policing viral content in the community, because the instinct of the internet, what goes viral are the dangerous things that you wouldn't ordinarily see.
Yeah. And we're also assuming he tried to do the right thing at every step of the turn and just forgot.
Right. No, he didn't.
What if he
did the bare minimum and was going to ask for forgiveness?
Yeah. What if he saw the permit? Like, I'm not paying $20,000 for that. I'm just going to do it. If I get caught, I get caught and do that. I think that's part of the issue too. Is like, well, if I'm if I have, let's take it from, instead of big corporations, go small business. So we have a small kind of YouTube channel. We hired like 20, 30 people to do all sorts of different things, and we follow the rules. We're the ones that are putting our necks out
like
there.
Mr. Beast does.
Yeah, and we're not trying to skirt over. We make some thin margins, but I think we like what we do. And some kid over here has got some trust fund money. He's blowing it on his Lamborghini, and he's got 5 people, and he makes $1 million off this one video. That's not fair. That's not. I don't think that's.
But this also comes to, you call yourself free. So, like, I think it's easier to cast this point aside because it's a YouTuber, right? Like, it has that connotation, like you pointed out. But, like, I want to live in an America with bald eagles where, like, the just hillbilly us of the most of us. Like, I'm a millionaire guy and I have a farm and a helicopter. That guy does not need to put it on YouTube for him to should be allowed to do that, right? Like, for me to, as an American, want him to be able to do that freely without harm. Like, in a world where he's going over his property line and now he's blowing up the neighbor. Like, yeah. And again, there's bigger policy things like wildfires in California. Yeah. In Ohio, we don't have that problem. Nope. I'd love for a farm guy. We're going to get to Are You Old Yet? Wait until you find out what they think of Ohio. Okay. So if there's, and what the people in Gen Z, what the people of the internet think of Ohio. So if there's any upside to being an Ohioan, it's we've got open land. I want just my neighbor to be able to go, and I got my helicopter shooting fireworks. And it's like, do it legally, do it safely, but also it shouldn't be $20,000, because that $20,000 is going to the agency. Why? Like, why? This is just, now you're just taxing unnecessarily. It isn't for like, when you buy a fishing license, it annoys me that I can't just legally go fish. But at the same time, you're not using that money just Big Brother making cash. Yeah. They at least make you feel good because they say all of the money for your fish license is going to go into wildlife preservation, and we're going to stock the lakes with fish, and it's going to be all these great things. You're not looking at me saying, oh, we're screwing regular people from doing things because we're going to fix the air. Like, what is the FAA even going to do? What are they going to do? You keep bailing these assholes out. You shut down the whole government and starved all of our businesses, and you gave them the trillions. And then you're going to go, you got to give me $20,000 to play in the helicopter. So I hear you. It's a cute, fun point. But the reality is you've made, in a world where corporations are equal to pedestrians, you've made a world where a regular pedestrian cannot enjoy the same freedoms as a corporation, because director Steven Spielberg ain't enough shit to do that. Director Steven Spielberg, through the studio of Universal, a corporation of hundreds of thousands of people, now I have the means and ability to play with fireworks on a helicopter. So even the greatest among us don't even have the means to do it themselves. They need to be this conglomerate that has equal influence in our elections as us, and has as much influence in our market as us, but can enjoy freedoms easier than us. Like, if your point is going to be the kid looked at the permit to do this legally and saw $20,000, like, I ain't doing that. That alone should tell you that even if a trust fund baby can't do that, you've made it impossible for a plebe to enjoy the right. Like, again, admit you aren't worried about red tape. He didn't ignore filling out paperwork, taking a class. We want you to sit through this 3-hour class. No, it was all money. It was all money. The crux of all of these points is money. So one, you don't have enough of the influence, and we want to make sure it hurts. So that way, the only people that can do it is us.
Hey, we're assuming we're assuming that rule is just money based. It's like, well, pay us 20 grand.
That's what permits are, dude.
Well, you can do that, but it's all, hey, it's safety based. Hey, you got to make sure this guy's here for this. You got to make sure this guy's there. You got to make sure your health and safety. There's all sorts of different moving mechanisms that might be in play. And he just said, no. And if if the helicopter dies, he dies. It's his fault.
That's true. Doug's uncle does the pyrotechnics at the Indians games, and you have to have a fire marshal on set. So.
So if you're gonna screw, and this isn't like new rules that only apply to one person versus the other. The rules will apply to everybody equally, and we have to hold each other accountable to that. Yeah, the big corporations might be able to do that a little bit easier, but also cost them a bit of money too. It's not every movie Disney makes is a financial hit, as we've seen with the summer box office here today. Every movie's bombing.
Yeah.
So there's, high risk, high reward. And he decided to, he rolled the dice and said, hey, I could probably do this a little cheaper. And if I have consequences on the back end, let me, I'll deal with it on the back end. I don't know if that's the type of world we really need to encourage, because eventually one of those is going to be, I crash landed the helicopter and some guys buried electrical line, and now we caused a hospital to lose power for 3 hours. Right. That's a whole. I mean, some of these things, some of these things can turn into a butterfly effect, even when we don't necessarily think they are. And skirting the rules is a quick way to find out which way your butterfly effect's going to go.
That's fair. That's fair. Brian, rapid thoughts.
In a world where silver linings meet technicalities, felonies get put on the line.
Alex, you did
$50,000 bond in the queue, and possible 10 years of sentencing. All right, that's all I got.
Alex, you did say "in a world" way too many times in this segment. And that's why, I said "in a world" the first time, and Brian looked at me and just died. And you just kept saying it. So, I to myself just kept going "in a world" every time you said that.
Yeah, can we get a quick snapshot of all the times he said, or anyone has said "in a world" on this segment?
I think.
Yeah, go into the comments with the "in the world" count.
Let's tally it up here.
All right, going on to our second topic here. This is a big one. Man, we probably spent way too much time on this YouTuber, because I imagine this will be the most dense. The WNBA versus Caitlin Clark. Man, they just ain't jiving, even though Caitlin Clark has found herself to be the heart of this league and making them everything they wish they could have been for the last, I don't know how many decades. They finally have relevance, and with that relevance, they're spitting in the white girl's face. So I want to just first dive into some of the clips we got here. Brian, if we could, can you start with video 1 and video 2? They're just two different angles of kind of the more recent take of, Caitlin being welcomed into the league. And so, she's taking some ridicule, and this is go ahead. They're the same angle.
Yeah, she's not having it.
If you go to this third one here, here's a compilation of all of the kind welcomings she's found here in the league. And, part of it is
she's flopping a little bit.
Which is soccer.
It's part of it's gamesmanship.
No one's better at it than LeBron. But at the same time,
that's a little, yeah.
And a lot of the narrative is becoming, it's a little piece of jealousy. It's, this is a higher caliber of competition. Welcome to it. I think those are a reality to this, but I also do think you're seeing, again, true jealousy. I do think there's a racial component to it.
Oh, absolutely.
And
absolutely.
It's more vindictive than it is like friendly competition. We could probably.
It just looks nasty. It looks vengeful. It's not like a, hey, I'm just being tough out there. It's a targeting of sorts.
Right. And while I think our instinct, the way the media has trained us over a decade and a half, the instinct is like to draw upon the racial side of it. I don't think that's as big of a piece as it's we've never been relevant. And now this person comes in, she's a rookie and she's everything.
Yep.
Right? But at the same time, somebody that's also a rookie that's getting just as much attention, and I think they're playing off of each other, is that Angel Reese.
Yep.
Kind of what's the dynamic with them?
So she was, to say rival, I think it was like what? It was last year in the national championship game. The Angel Reese, LSU, Caitlin Clark, obviously Iowa. They, all the momentum was Caitlin Clark this, Caitlin Clark that, and then they beat her and kind of blew her out too. It wasn't a pretty game. And she throws up the, hey, I got a ring, you don't, almost like a throwing her off or like flipping her off kind of deal. It was maybe a little salty or just kind of, like you're rubbing it in someone's face, and everyone kind of just took that the wrong way. But I think there is, I keep thinking about this. I don't like when things get racial, but definitely I do believe this whole phenomenon does have a race component to it. I think a lot of the public sees WNBA as kind of a black women's league. You picture WNBA player, it's black woman. We had the Brittany Griner situation a couple of years ago, and that's what you think the face of the league is. And I think there's probably a lot of,
Animosity
and the good old girls club where, well, she's not one of us. She's they only like her because she's white and from a mostly white state. And that's why everyone likes her. They didn't care about us before, and now they care about us because some white chick comes through. I could easily see that narrative getting to some of these players' heads and going, well, let me rough her up a little bit. Let me show her what it's really like in the WNBA.
But again, you don't want to take away from the fact that the viewership is up
skyrocket.
2.2 million views. And they're seeing a 236% increase in merchandise sales.
Absolutely.
So tenfold on
most
itself.
people, I always had this little skit where if I was a trivia host, I would always do a WNBA segment for any trivia game I would do. And be like, well, name a single WNBA team. All right, name 2 WNBA teams.
Right.
Just like who won it last year? What's the closest WNBA team to us? Just like stupid questions like that, where everyone, like if it was NFL, everyone would know the answers, but in WNBA, no one knows. Now, I bet more people can name WNBA teams and maybe even players over the UFL team.
Speaking of which, Brian, I'm going to make it hard for you. Can you go to video 11? You're going to have to pull this one up.
You're going to have to scroll
video
down.
11, this is what the league was. Like, let me give you a reminder. Caitlin Clark's out here dunking. She's doing, I think her numbers are incredible. The amount of threes she's draining.
She's a solid player. She's like I'd almost say her closest comp's like Steph Curry.
Right.
She's draining threes.
So let's keep that on balance with this is what we're used to. This is what we're looking at when it comes to the video or to the league. I mean, this comp does the league dirty.
Yeah,
also,
it's a low light. Yeah, but I mean, before Caitlin Clark, the most famous WNBA player was Brittany Griner. For reasons
they were showing. That's what they were showing. And Brittany Griner sucks now. Let's just make that also
the worst
real
thing
clear.
Ever because we let loose a known criminal.
Nicholas Cage got
What was
out.
his name?
The Merchant of Death.
Yeah, the Merchant of Death.
We let go the Merchant of
Brittany Griner.
Death.
Is anybody going to talk about all these videos of Brittany Griner with her shirt
Topless.
She's a dude. It's really in our face now. The number of videos of her topless as a guy.
Not flagged by Instagram, YouTube. Nothing.
She's a guy. And can we also agree, you as a world power would give up the Merchant of Death to hide the fact that a guy has been balling out as the central piece to your league this whole time, right? That'd be worth the Merchant of Death. I don't think nobody that isn't good in the league anymore would be worth the Merchant of Death. But hiding your trans psyop, now that would be a reason you'd give up the Merchant of Death. I could totally see Putin going, hey, bud, you want everybody to know? You want everybody to know what's going on?
Why would we really care, though?
Yeah.
Why would we really care if he goes, because she's a man?
This whole theory is
why do we care?
Because people care about the WNBA. It's like,
but we didn't before
that's
now.
his point.
What team did Brittany Griner play for?
No one would have given a shit.
The WNBA.
Go ahead. He did.
What team did Brittany
He wasn't
Griner-
listening. He was talking through
What
you.
team did Brittany Griner play for in the WNBA?
Dude, I can't tell you.
Exactly.
I didn't know if you were asking me or just saying in general.
Well, I guess in general,
I
if
have
anyone,
no
if anyone
I
can
could not
answer,
and
answer
that's
that.
because I didn't give a shit before now. Caitlin Clark is the only
Well,
reason
and
everyone's
here
talking
here
about it.
lies the headlining topic. Caitlin
And that's
Clark.
why I don't get why we gave up someone called the Merchant of Death for her. I don't get it.
I don't
don't.
disagree.
I really
you know,
don't.
I think we should have kept the Merchant of Death.
I do too. Let Russia keep
Well, he wouldn't be able to make a sequel too if he.
but
kept
let
him.
Russia keep her. Like, she might be good for some forced labor. At
All right, this is bad conversation. We're circling it back. I want to get back to Angel Reese, but Ricky's got something to say. Ricky, what's up?
Ricky.
So the race narrative is straight from the media. There is jealousy. Women is a jealous creatures. Like, we know this. Let's face the facts. They are jealous creatures. You know what I mean? The WNBA is rough. It is not just her, but it's highlighted more because she is now the face of the league. I hate that it is people make it race. Let's take the race out of it and just focus on ball, right? Just focus on ball. Yes, she's getting played rough. She is the face of the league. Any rookie that comes in, go look back at LeBron's first year. He was getting manhandled. But he was still handling his business, just like she's still handling her business. Get the race. She's just getting played rough. And for the WNBA, the other players around her, the jealousy thing, they're stupid. There are now private flights. They're stupid. They're not capitalizing on the market value, the eyes they have on them. They're just the fellas still don't care about our league. We don't get the revenue. Look, you got the gold nugget right now, and they're just divided. And it's not even them. The media is putting a wrench into the freaking league and trying to make the Larry Bird and Magic Johnson thing with Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. So that's what I think they're trying to do. The rivalry right there to make it more big. It's already a rivalry. It's natural. The storyline is there. But the media like ESPN, all the Stephen A, The View, they just need to get the fuck out the way. I'm sorry. Get the fuck out of the way and just stop like pushing this race thing about it's just because she's white. It's just because she's white. Well, if she was just because she's white, she wouldn't be balling like that. Like, it doesn't make sense. She's a baller. She worked her ass off. She's in the fucking league. She's a pro for a reason. She's gonna get played rough this year, but wait till next series here. The first player I knew in the WNBA was Candace Parker. The second player was Sue Bird. Sue Bird is a fucking legend. A legend. Diane Taurasi, the first viral clip I see was with Augustine that ran out of tunnel kissing Diana Taurasi mid-court. Like I was like, this is like, we still didn't care then. And y'all have our eyes on it now. We didn't care. Men didn't care that two women was on the court kissing. But we care now that you have a lady that's like Steph, like y'all said, throwing up threes. And y'all just putting y'all envy and jealousy in the way by just throwing shit. Just focus on y'all game. Capitalize, get a little sponsorship, and do what y'all gotta do. Stop, play her rough, play the game. But media needs to take a step back with their race narrative.
I could appreciate that. And so launch padding off of the position of taking the race out of it. I also, it goes both ways. I agree with Ricky. It's the media. This is all being peddled by the media. And when all of them have been capitalizing on this issue for 30 years, why would they change? The playbook works. We're going to keep going with the plays that work. But I want to kind of take that same point and look at it on its reverse. So I want to also say that Caitlin Clark's praise and the limelight on her at the centerpiece of this league is not because she's a white girl and now all of us sick whiteys can relate to her and now that's why we're turning it on. There's a higher caliber of play, and she's finally bringing class. Sorry, I'm going to say it. There was zero class, and I would like to strongly present the harsh point. So it isn't that I'm coming out cruel, but it's true. It's the harsh truth that maybe you just need to simmer with. So, Brian, if we could circle back then to video 4, which this is, David presented the dynamic between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. This is Angel Reese discussing it.
It all started from the national championship game, and I've been dealing with this for 2 years now. Yeah. And understanding, negative things have probably been said about me, but honestly, I'll take that because look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball, but you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball. People are pulling up to games. We got celebrities coming to games, sold out arenas, just because of one single game. And just looking at that, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on and be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me, too, and I want y'all to realize that.
Yeah. No, please. I really need to finish this point because we're nowhere near done. We're nowhere near done even presenting these videos. So, okay, to Ricky's point, take the race out of it. That was a well-presented position by Angel Reese.
Very well.
And so she's bringing a sense of class. It's not just Caitlin Clark. But now, if you could go to video 5, Brian, this is Caitlin Clark in a response, giving her position and her relationship with Angel Reese.
Yeah, I think the thing about her is she's been so dominant in what she does ever since we played in, high school. I vividly remember we played at Boot Williams. I must have been a sophomore probably at the time. And we just got killed on the glass, and that just hasn't changed. She's always had a knack for being able to rebound the ball, and that's just translated immediately to the WNBA. She's so good at reading the ball off the glass and going and getting it and getting extra possessions for her team. And those are the little things that help your team win. And obviously playing in her college, she did the same stuff. So, I have a lot of respect for her, but even Camilla too.
I'm worried about the
Camilla
music
caused us a lot of problems in the national championship. We just didn't have a matchup for her.
But
I think
the position I want to point out is that you have these two people that are new to the league and they're bringing a sense of class. Now balance that with what has been on the stage for the public eye, what has been representing your league. This is what you have promulgated. This is what you were represented by. Can you go there to video 6? This is Kalia Copper.
Khalil, this looks like the bench production. You didn't get a lot of it in this game here. Talk about what they need to do going forward.
You said what?
The bench.
Not
Not score a lot in this game here, give you a lot of production. What do you have to do next in the next few games to help you guys most likely get to the next level?
What does the bench have to do?
Yes.
What did you?
I was saying that the bench didn't give a lot of production today in this game here. What do they got to do to help you all out as what they did in the previous game?
What they got to do? What they do last game? That's a real question. You for real?
No, what I'm asking is just really trying to get an idea of what they need to do.
So what the bench do the last game?
They actually played well. They played well.
So what they do this game?
Today they didn't do well this game.
Okay, so what they got to do?
This is painful.
Score, right?
Yep.
All right,
It
bet.
really is.
That's it, right?
This is very painful.
Yeah. Okay, so here's my point. Okay, is that a crappy question? Maybe, but all athletic questions. You're all dumb. That you're not philosophers.
People get asked that all the time, though,
but
too.
again, that's just what speaking with athletes are, right? They're always going to be softball, silly questions. Not only that, you're coached. You have professionals that coach you on how to answer these stupid, mindless questions. Was it a stupid question? Sure. But you looked like a fool and you represented yourself with no class. Guess what? Say it has no racial component. It has none of that. When you have Dwight Howard, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, all of them just gave their heart and soul. It could be a great player or a no-name player. They gave their heart and soul on that court. They are equally exhausted. They may have lost. They're just as disgruntled. Nobody, this is what your league was. It wasn't just Kalia. This is what you all were representing yourself as. So you have young talent that is leveling up your talent. They're coming in and smoking you. So just like LeBron, this is the girl at 20-some. Just wait until she gets 4 more years in this league. You at your top, girl that feels you need to hip check her to humble her and welcome her to the league. She's going to be smoking you. So not only is it higher caliber talent, but then you're also balancing it with class, which is what the fans crave always. Like, if you're going to have all of the wealth of our community, at the very least, you can be a role model. And so you'll see great athletes like an Antonio Brown. Nobody could catch a ball better than an Antonio Brown. But I think every parent would be disappointed in their child that wrote a biography on their favorite athlete of all time. Mommy, Daddy, I love Antonio Brown. They'd be scared because that isn't somebody they should be looking at as a model of a moral compass.
Great athlete, no idol.
Yeah, and the league doesn't, in fairness to the league, they don't entitle him, outside of giving him a very nice paycheck, but they don't entitle him in the fact, like, we're not making him the face of the league, even though he was, I did learn he was the Madden cover in 2019. A little odd, but he's not being hailed it up. He's not coddled. It's like, oh, it's okay, Antonio. It's okay. They just don't understand you. Where I think part of, as we get a little further into this women's empowerment movement, we see it's like, oh, well, you didn't answer that question. That's because the guy doesn't understand how to talk to women, or it's always some excuse instead of just taking it on the face. Like, you didn't answer that question with any sort of tact or, really just any charm whatsoever. You don't have to answer a question good. If you're just mildly charming, you can at least get away with it. That's how somebody's acting. Like, the practice. I don't know whoever said that. It's like,
well, hold on.
Talk about
great
practice.
point. Hey, real quick, Brian, go to video 7 right there. Admittedly, Russell Westbrook had almost the same exact interview as this girl.
Bro, what are you talking about, man? Bro, I'm out, man. That nigga's tripping.
All right. So maybe I'm a bad person because I found this one funny and not the other one. But guess what? I also didn't think he wasn't taking it serious. He had a real human emotion. Like, man, that's a stupid ass question. I'm going to turn around. But it wasn't like he's slouching. He's half-assing this. I don't even want to be here. What? What's you saying? Wiping her fucking nose, like slobbering. Man, I'm out of here. Like,
it's all about presentation.
Yeah. Yes. I could agree.
People view he showed that he was
disgruntled, but at least he was taking the interview serious at first.
Exactly.
There's a little charm of that too. So I got stripped.
Right.
I'm sorry, David. Took your I just made a video on my Snapchat of me live reacting to her question, and I made the same exact face that he did. And
wait, whose question?
I made the same face as Westbrook to her being asked whatever
he was asking.
Yeah,
it wasn't a good question by the reporter, but there's a better way to handle it than just, I don't know, like throwing up your hands and just like walking away. It's just not. That's not how you should be doing it.
I mean, let's be true. We do this every Tuesday at 7 p.m. We've been doing this for how many? Like almost a year. So there's a lot of weeks there. I'm on camera for a lot of hours. If I want to sit there and wipe my nose, I either wait till it goes to David's or I find part of it is like also recognize like you're on the public stage. There's a presentation and you just slobbering all over yourself. Just, do you care? Do you have hygiene? Like, I get it. You just played a game, but also this goes back to you are a female.
But some players
did you forget that? You are a female.
Some players have like a towel around them and they'll use the towel.
Yes.
Like it's a little more graceful. Like they don't blatantly
and maybe this is a good time to then transition to it because, Ricky had no shortage of emphasizing that the league is gay. It is gay. And so I only bring that up because as I sip from my Ally cup, because I am an ally, I only bring that up because this is the only league in sports. Find another one. Find another one in professional sports. I mean, I'm talking softball. Find another league where players are in relationships with each other, right? And not only that, but on the same team and opposing teams, right? So, like, to me, it's Brian, what are you doing?
Don't worry about me. Send me a video.
Okay. Do you want to play this?
I don't know. Do we want to play that?
I don't know.
I don't know. Let's put on Silent Destroyer. Maybe he could give us some context.
You give us a little, we'll zhuzh it up for us.
I just want you guys to know that video is how you professionally handle annoying, very obvious questions from a reporter. This is Jose Mourinho. He's one of the best coaches in the world in soccer or real football. And this is how he usually handles like annoying questions. This went really, really viral in like the sports circle in Europe and like people that watch soccer and stuff like that. So people that watch soccer like will know exactly about this moment. It's iconic, you know?
All right, let's check it
All
out.
right.
I just wanted to bring it up.
A surprise video from the Pickle Gallery.
They can only see what you can see.
You.
And you got to unmute it.
Yep. All right. Let's get that. Get that.
Not to speak. If I speak, I am in big trouble. In big trouble. And I don't want to be in big trouble.
All right.
That's it. Very simple.
That's okay. All
I
right.
prefer not to speak.
Gold.
If I speak, I'm in big trouble.
I'm
Big
just
trouble.
here so
And
I won't
that's
get
it,
fined.
you know?
Right.
Yeah.
And again,
it's like so graceful, you know, it's so like courteous and it's so like, listen, you're annoying me. I'm just going to keep my mouth closed. That's it. You know, it's like a professional way to handle it. And I think a lot of people overthink these things, you know, like you guys said, a lot of these athletes like are trained and are told how to handle this. And it's really that simple. Sometimes you just tell them, yeah, I don't really want to answer that question. And you could just say that out loud and say, next question, or yeah, let's not talk about that. And that's it, you know, because obviously, like you said, these reporters, they're doing their job. They have a list of questions they're told to ask these athletes and they ask them. That's it. A lot of them don't want to ask these questions, but they have to, right?
right.
And this is part of the whole media thing of being an athlete. It's like there's going to be a lot of very stupid questions. And it's up to you as an athlete to represent your team, your city, yourself, and just handle it gracefully, you know?
What's up, Doug?
All right. Jumping out of your seat
My
here.
thought is when he says that, I think of Marshawn Lynch going up to the podium going, I'm just here so I don't get fined. And it's like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like he said what he was there and he said nothing no one could argue with.
He did
So-
say it with a bit of charm, though, too. I think
He
we're all
did.
losing the
People
charms. Like, I'm
loved
just
it.
here, like, fine.
And so
There's a theatrics
if
to
you
it,
got to
which-
be up there, like, just even say that. I mean, my God, Marshawn Lynch has given the blueprint to how to handle them if you really don't want to even answer anything. Just say, I'm here so I don't get fined.
Right.
You're
Right.
there and you're answering the questions. They can't find you.
No, that's a great point. The last thing I just wanted to wrap up so it just doesn't feel like I'm punching down. The reason I brought up how like this is a weird league that has this aspect of like players dating players is you can look up videos where a teammate will intervene with their own teammate to defend like their ex on the other team. And it's like, so in any other male sport or any other female sport that isn't, because this is so predominantly gay, that like any even other female sport, there's no other league where another teammate will intervene with their, like even in the game of tennis, you're going to support your tennis partner in the competition and then coddle your ex after. There's this weird dynamic where basketball is an ultra intimate sport. You're all on that court together. You all you can whisper in each other's ears. It's like there's a lot more shit talking and competition. There's a layer to the sport we miss as a viewer. And because it's so intimate, it makes that dynamic of their relationships that more influential on the game, where your teammate may loosen up because it's their girlfriend, or, you know, may hurt you or intervene with you to help their ex or their girlfriend. So it's just a weird dynamic. But Brian, if you could go to video 8, this is to kind of bring our point back to reminding us on what Caitlin is bringing to the sport. And it's important to segue in. This will help us segue into the last piece of the story here. But like, again, here's a situation where Caitlin's being welcomed into the league and, you know, yeah, she's getting a rough start. They're roughing her up here, but this is straight perseverance, murking right through them. And boop.
Yeah.
I mean, money.
And that's just why viewership's going up. They're hitting record numbers constantly.
So again, hitting record numbers, skill level is leveling up the league. And yet she didn't make the Olympics.
Oh.
Which is
a hot
nother
take right there.
Like dynamic to this that is outrageous. Other players in the league find it outrageous. You could look at all the past rosters. I mean, I forgot to write it down, but the women's NBA, the American female Olympic basketball team has not lost in like 20 years or 18 years. What is it? 8 years? What is that, Ricky?
8 gold medals in a row.
All right, so 8 gold medals in a row. This girl easily could have coasted on the bench. And I say, you go, what? That means she wasn't good enough. You just wanted her on the but this has been tradition that the up and cut, like Kobe, LeBron,
Michael Jordan, and
they were all still prominent in their league, but so is Caitlin. That's the point. Is you take this young person that is a prospect that is going to shine out to be a legend of your league, and this is where they get the experience to soon take the torch, literally and figuratively.
And this is where some of the decision makers are just getting in their own way. Just like I said, I think there's an old girls club who maybe doesn't like all the new attention they're getting. They're getting it just for this one player, and they're thinking, well, we should have had it from the foundation that we built. This is a great league. I wish other people would see it outside of just this one player. So we're not even going to invite her to the Olympics, where that could just be another feather in their caps. Like, hey, we got Caitlin Clark in the Olympics. Really just put her out there and kind of see that league grow. So they all want to see the league grow. And they just, I think there's a sense she is dragging them up with her into like a more prosperous area and a new way of thinking that isn't just, well, we're going to be in our own little bubble here where no one knows the name of any of our teams.
Right. And again, there isn't any true justification for it. It seems targeted in many respects. So Brian, if you could, we're looking at for video 9, which again is to emphasize the class that she brings to this league. This is Caitlin Clark's response to not making the Olympic roster.
Caitlin, what was your reaction when you saw the USA team yesterday, the roster come out?
Yeah, I think I'm excited for the girls that are on the team. I know it's the most competitive team in the world, and I know it could have gone either way of me being on the team, me not being on the team. So, I'm excited for them. I'm going to be rooting them on to win gold. I was a kid that grew up watching the Olympics, so yeah, it'll be fun to watch.
What was your level of disappointment?
Girl needs a tissue.
Honestly, no disappointment. Like, I think it just gives you something to work for. That's a dream. Hopefully one day I can be there, and I think it's just a little more motivation. We remember that, and
just kind of smile.
There's a bit of charm.
Did you have a direct conversation with managing director
and taking it on the face
over there at USAB recently?
Yeah, they called me and let me know, and before everything came out, which was really respectful of them, and I appreciated that. And they did the same for every girl that made the team or every girl that didn't make the team. There's a lot of players in the Olympic pool, so it wasn't like I was the only one they had to call. They had to make quite a few calls.
Are you looking forward to a break, from Olympic action, basketball in general, I guess?
Absolutely. I mean, it's going to be really nice. I mean, I've loved competing every single second, but it's going to be a great month for my body to, first of all, like, get rest and get healthy and just get a little time away from basketball and the craziness of everything that's been going on, and just find some peace and quiet for myself. But then additionally, like, a great opportunity for us to work and get better, a great opportunity for myself to get in the weight room, to work on the court and work at things that I want to get better at that I maybe didn't have time going from college to the pro season. So I'm looking forward to it. But at the same time, like, we still have a month of games where we have a lot of opportunities to win a lot of games. So that's where my main focus is.
Kudos to her. I mean, great response. Follow up. Can you go to video 10? And this is her coach's response to Caitlin not making the roster.
Elephant in the room is the Team USA roster. Caitlin's not on it. What was your reaction when you saw that list come out yesterday?
Yeah, a little disappointed, of course. She's my player. That's the hardest team in the world to make, right? Like, that is a tough team. She's young. She's going to have so many opportunities in the future.
How did you coach her up through that, or did you talk to her at all through that to make it more of a motivating factor than anything?
Yeah, we talked actually on the bus. She got the call on the bus, and she texted me to let me know. And, I just tried to keep her spirits. I mean, the thing she said was, "Hey, Coach, they woke a monster," which I thought was awesome.
Is there any
Love
silver
that
lining? And she'll get a little bit of rest. She'll be able to work on some things in that 3-week break.
Yeah, I think that is the silver lining. Like, she is going to get some rest.
Right. I like that using this and equipping it as a motivator versus a victim card. Doug is dying to talk. So
I was just gonna say, like, everything I've read and saw, like, part of the reason, like, obviously they could still put her on the team if they really wanted to, but part of the reason why she's not is she missed the training for the Olympic team, the American team, in April to be with the Hawks to go through the Final Four and everything.
Oh, that's cheeky.
So, like, that's kind of part of it. She wasn't there. So they absolutely could, but she missed the training.
How did these girls do it in the past? Right?
I don't know.
Was it that their team sucked and they weren't in the
But have some of them gone
finals
from college to the Olympic before ever playing in the NBA?
There's been a series of them for the last how many rosters?
Yeah. So
how did
my
they
point
do it?
is they absolutely could if they really wanted to. Apparently, there must be some reasoning, but that's what I've been reading is she couldn't make she couldn't make the practice, so she's not going to get it. That's what I've been seeing as the logic behind it. But you're absolutely right. Like, they could easily still put her on the team.
It's probably just easier to say that than
Exactly.
we really don't want her to have
Besides
all the
saying, like,
attention.
you're the reason for our bump since the last time, the last bump they got was when Brittany Griner played her first game back from Russia, and then everyone dropped off again.
Yeah.
Right.
Except this time, people are actually consistently.
But again, what motivator is there truly to keep her off beyond the fact that you would probably be volatile for the roster?
But the
None of these women would
coverage
be able
would
to
be
bury.
huge for the Olympics.
None of these women would be able to bury the hatchet and work with you, and we would have a volatile locker room. And so, for the sake of our locker room, we need to just keep this girl away.
Yeah, that could be one of it. And again,
Those
that's
people
something
are all
they're
just
not going to
threatened.
say. They just want to say
They're
it.
threatened.
Yeah.
Those other people just must be threatened because she's so popular right now.
I think that's part of it. That has to be part of it. There's no, again, there is probably a group of them that just wants to go back to the way things were before Caitlin Clark. You're probably going to hear, we're going to hear some of these media types. They're all going to go, well, I like the WNBA before Caitlin Clark, before it got popular. And we're going to see some virtue signaling of this way. It's like, well, I remember the 2020 year, the 2021 year where X, Y, and Z did whatever, just to show that they like the WNBA before Caitlin Clark. We're gonna see that. People are gonna have some timestamps. They're gonna be real proud of that in certain sectors of the media.
Oh, of course. Let's get to our wrapping thoughts here because we got to get to a game that we may not even have time for, but it'll be a lot of fun. So I would like to bring in Ricky. Ricky, what are your thoughts? Wrap these bad boys up.
All right, man. The WNBA is doing a horrible job, like, trying to make money. They're really doing a horrible job trying to make money. Put her on the team. Even if she didn't come to practice and she doesn't play, people are going to pack the stadium just like every stadium she's in has been packed. When she's not playing in that stadium, it ain't
sold out.
sold out.
In the business of making money? Like, what are we doing?
You know what I mean? Unless they just like borrowing from the guys. I thought they want to be independent, but that's just not a topic for another day. So they're doing a horrible job of that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And Caitlin Clark is a beast, man. She's gonna get up, handle her business. She is literally this Steph Curry, just shooting those threes from down deep. Like the coach is learning her way to play, figuring out more ways to, get her open and sort on that sort. Indiana Fever was the worst team in the league last year. I don't know how much people expect of a miracle saver she's gonna be. She's a baller, but like there is not one player, you know what I mean? Like it's still gotta be a team.
Too.
Still gotta be a team. And the media, get off their ass, man. Oh, sorry. Hot take. Yo, the WNBA pays women that are straight and like try to convert them to their ways, bro. There is story. There's stories. There's stories on the internet. And also they like if you're not a part of the gang, they like, they treat you different. But I'm happy now young ladies are seeing more women in the league. Women with boyfriends and like ladylike, ladies. Yeah, feminine. Perfect.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, feminine women. You know what I mean? And it's better. It's better for young girls to see that because when they see them like all tomboyed out, not no little princess wants to go inspired to go be tomboyed out with y'all. You know what I mean? Or go through the haze.
Ricky, what you don't realize is the pink aisle and dresses is just a social construct.
The pink tax is real. The pink tax is real, bro. The pink tax is real. They buy with their eyes. The pink tax is real. All right, that's my rapping thought.
I can agree. Okay. Woo! Yeah, first
I wasn't ready for that
was spicy. All right, Silent Destroyer, please help us tie this bow.
I think you guys have to realize the WNBA is pretty new. There's going to be a lot of mistakes. A lot of these young people are going to make a lot of mistakes. There's going to be a lot of controversy, a lot of hot things, hot takes, things that happen on and off the court. But that's good because that's what the sports needs to grow, right? We need some drama. We need some content, just like with Alex Choi, right? Like you need those little spicy sort of moments that stand out and say, oh my God, she said that to her. Or, oh my God, she said this to that. Or, oh my God, she did this to her hands. Or, oh my God, she did an elbow and then she, dramatically, like soccer players just fucking flanked out and fell over. Like they need these moments. This is how you grow it.
True.
Like you got to create the viral clips so that once you have the viral clips, people are like, oh, this is interesting. I'm going to tune in next Tuesday when they're playing at 7 p.m. Or, oh, I'm going to go buy some tickets and go see what's up at the arena. So they definitely need to understand that this is what creates a league. This is what creates the traction that they need to continue to grow the league so that it becomes profitable, self-sustainable enough so that they can stand on their own and then, it can become like a profitable business, just like the NBA did back in the day.
Totally. I can appreciate that. Doug has nothing but infinite thoughts. So Doug, can you give us some rapping thoughts?
Give us a quick one.
I actually don't have many. I kind of made my statements.
Perfect.
There we go.
My rapping thought is going to be this. The WNBA is having a new opportunity. It's a beginning, and it's what are you gonna seize this opportunity? What are you gonna make with it? Strike while the iron's hot. You've never had eyeballs. Back to Brittany Griner comes back from Russia. You had all the eyeballs, you had a chance, and you lost them. All right, right now you've got all the eyeballs. You got the Rethink Tank talking about you, ESPN, everybody in every corner is talking about you, Caitlin Clark, the Olympics, your league, the tension, the drama. It's all one big keeping up with the Kardashians, and that's what keeps people tuning in. Are you going to fumble? Because and it comes back to Silent Destroyer's point, they're new, cut them a break, they're working out the issues, but they aren't. This is owned by the NBA. The NBA has the formula. They know what works. The NBA isn't even real. They've been putting on a WWE show for you clowns for the last 25 years, and you dumbasses don't even know it.
Bring out the hot take.
How to put up a fake good show. So, it's like NBA, you have the formula, you know what works. Why can't you recreate it here? So I think part of the problem is they have the networks, the tools, and the game plan to implement. It's just the pieces that they're playing with, the players. They honestly need more Angel Reese's and Caitlin Clark's to phase out. Because, in a world where nobody's watching, you can have a whole bunch of trash. And nobody's going to care. Nobody's going to give it attention. It's actually just going to be ignored trash. But now you've got the light. And like you've got like, you know, Alvin and the Chipmunks. You've got like the dancing frog surrounded by trash. And it's like you're trying to hide the fact that it's trash. Really what you need is to phase out. Hopefully they all graduate, move on, and you should focus on this new generation coming in to hopefully dilute the trash. But like, I think it's less the WNBA doesn't know what they're doing. They're juvenile. Like they have the resources. They have it there. It's the human beings that they're working with really just don't, they're not cut from the cloth to carry. I mean, I think it's stupid anymore. Every Browns game, every Cavs game, every sport, they have to have a fashion show walking to the locker room. It's like, are you here to score touchdowns, or are you here to walk the Calvin Klein, fashion show?
It's true.
But at the same time, some of them are pretty slick. Some of those Browns players is like, damn, that looks sharp. Some of the other guys, it's like, okay, somebody probably should have told you not to do that, but also you're rich, so nobody's going to care. You dunk on them. This is just my personal opinion. I'm entitled to it, and I understand that it may not be nice. But at the same time, if you've seen the fashion show of these women walking to their game, oh my God, they do need a stylist. Caitlin Clark looks great. And I'm not even sitting here like, oh, I find her super. She's not the most. I'm the chubby kid from Ohio. I'm not sitting here like I look like Tom Cruise. I'm not sitting here projecting it like I'm coming from a position of superiority. I'm just saying, oof. And like Caitlin Clark isn't even the most pretty, and she's looking like a dime piece because you all have stylists and still look oof. So I just think we need to phase out the trash. I think the league is in a good place, and the opportunity is there. The question will be, can and will they seize this opportunity? What's your rapid thought, my friend?
Yeah, I think there's too much momentum right now for it to essentially just die off. The whole Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark dynamic is bringing new life with the league, and they're going to drag the rest of the league with it, whether they like it or not. Because again, you now know names of players, names of teams, where the teams are located. We're hitting a renaissance here, and I think this is probably what the women's empowerment movement was always about. Just like, hey, you give us an opportunity to have a good enough players, I think you'll care, and we're starting to see that. Just like when Cleveland hosted the Final Four, Caitlin Clark's last Final Four. Oh, the atmosphere was electric,
right?
For just a bunch of college women to come around. Well, usually people like it when college women just kind of float around the place. But in this case, in a competitive environment, there was a lot of energy. There was a lot of enthusiasm to see, hey, what's going to happen? How's this going to play out? And I think they really can capitalize on that. But I still think there's still, as we all said, there's some work to be done here. And let's not kick out the golden goose yet.
I could appreciate that. Brian, rapid thought.
Drain this 3 for us.
Can't wait for more sports, more people to get in the realm and be in the arena, spotlight. So I feel like the WNBA has been not very relevant or in the picture. And now that they're getting some traction, I hope they succeed and do sports.
Did AI write that response for you?
Yeah. No, AI would have. Did your kindergarten nephew write that? Okay, no.
What should I say?
All right, we got a game to play here. I know we're running late, but I think it's still worth squeezing in because this is the fun everybody looks forward to. We've got the whole crew competing. I'm going to be your show host. Today we're playing the game, Are You Old Yet? 2. We're testing. We got the young Gen Z, the kids lingo here, and we're going to go around the room and find out who's the oldest. That's going to be the loser, and who's still hip with the times, so who can get the highest score. I got 3 for everybody, and if we need a tiebreaker, I got one. And boy, let me tell you, I hope we get to the tiebreaker. I'm going to try to find a way that we do because this stuff is wild. Starting with number 1, I'm going to go to our reigning loser. David, can you define for me Delulu? I can use it in a sentence.
How about you use it in a sentence?
You're so delulu. That came from Wikipedia.
really.
Some would say it's a bad sentence to give you context, which is what makes it fun. Make sure you're playing along. Jump into the comments. See if you can guess. Are you old yet?
Well, I am going to go ahead and assume here Delulu is delusional.
You are correct. Derived from the English word delusional, and it has its origins in internet communities obsessed with K-pop culture. The phrase Delulu is the Solulu, implying self-confidence as a solution, helped increase the popularity of the term. I like that.
When you use it in a sentence, it really did it for me. I took it over the hump for me.
I could take that. All right. Going to Brian. Brian, number 2, phantom tax.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a sentence on this one.
You just phantom taxed my cookies.
Taking something that doesn't belong to you and for no good reason.
That sounds pretty good.
That's a damn good educated guess. It's very close, but I can't give it to you because it is specifically the theft of food between friends. Originally referred to American Twitch streamer Phantom, referring to his practice of demanding taste of his friend's food. You just been phantom taxed.
Yeah, I don't feel bad. I think I nailed it for.
I think you're pretty
not
close.
knowing.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
give it
close.
to
He
you.
was
But
definitely
again,
close,
the hip kids, Gen Z is gonna say you're out of touch, Dad.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't really.
I don't know. Maybe give him a half a point.
You got,
All right.
gotta pass on
to
the question.
Ricky. Oh no. Sorry. Ricky being our reigning champ. I have him last. So we're gonna go to Silent Destroyer. All right, Silent. Can you give me the definition for the word gagged? I'm going to use it in a sentence so you can get the context at which the kids use it.
Go ahead.
The plot twist in that movie had me totally gagged.
I don't know.
Speechless or unable to talk.
I'm going to give it to you to be shocked, amazed, or at least at a loss for words. It came from the Black LGBTQ slang and originated within the drag scene. Originally, drag queens used gagged when complimenting amazing performances. Shocker. Dougie Fresh.
Oh, God.
All right. Number 4 here is glaze. You need to stop glazing.
If you don't know it, just pass it on.
You need to stop smoking weed because it glazes your eyes. I'm gonna go
Just
with that.
pass it on. Pass it on.
Well, Ricky, can you steal it?
Yeah, man. When
Feel
you
it,
dick
bro.
riding, bro, stop glazing him, bro. Why you dick riding, bro?
I mean, he's right. To overhype, praise, or compliment someone to the point where it becomes annoying or cringeworthy.
Man, I knew the other ones, but you give me the one I don't know. I would have guessed all the other ones.
Yeah, that's what they all say. All right. I'm really testing Ricky, a reigning champ here.
Oh.
Number 5, pluh. Using it in a sentence, the context it gave me is person 1 says to person 2, so yeah. And then person 2 says pluh and then walks away.
What the fuck? Hold on.
He's Googling it. He had his phone.
No.
Violation.
It's not my question.
Judge.
So, all right, pluh. Let me see. Does it mean like blah?
It's on the screen. PLUH. Pluh.
Yeah, I know. So it's like, okay. Pluh means. I don't know, like blah. I don't know. I give up. I don't know, dog. I never heard no pluh before.
Pluh, yeah.
So wait, where do you go? Did you give an answer? No, you opted out.
Pluh means bruh.
All right, here's the answer. Pluh. Used as a conversation stopper when there is nothing left to say. You use this in a conversation with Doug. Used to be pronounced plug, but rap collective beat plugs used pla as a tag to mark his music and eventually became a meme on TikTok circa 2021. So now
Really, I'm the plug. Really, I'm the plug.
So to end a conversation, to put a plug on it, he's plug and then walk away. Come on, get hip with the times, fam.
Ricky, I think you were pretty close.
I mean, Ricky
You weren't
reminded
too far
me.
off.
So I'm going to bring this aspect back to the game where the person next after you can steal the point. Ricky stole Doug's point. So right now we got a 3-way tie between David, Silent Destroyer, and Ricky. We're going into round 2. All right. Starting with David. Oh my God, that's so funny.
Oh my God. Probably not trying to call a cat, are you? It's like a different way of laughing. Like instead of going ha ha, it's like
Used to convey happiness or laughter.
Look at that.
Is it a form of key smashing? Earliest known usage is by Brazilian users on Twitter, used by various British, African American, and gay communities before becoming associated with Stan Twitter in 2019. It became associated with Visco girls. Similar forms can be found regionally, like Indonesia, it's WK, wick, 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 wick. And in Korea, it's K.
Visco
they laugh so quietly and sweetly.
I thought it was like those like poetry like
snapping.
Yeah.
Oh,
snapping. That's what it is.
That's new age comedy. I'll do the next comment.
All right, going to Brian. Can he get himself on the board? Stan. Do you stan Taylor Swift?
Can you tolerate? Can you stand her?
No, stan. Don't conflate it with
Brian.
stand.
Brian.
I said, can you stand Taylor?
Look at it on the board. You wrote it.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, it's on the board.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm sticking with my initial can you stand Taylor Swift? And I'm gonna go with no.
Yeah.
All right, so the definition
wins. I don't care.
the definition provided to me is supporting something to an extreme degree, specifically used in cases of overzealous or obsessive support of celebrities, a mixture of stalker and fan. It also, where it came from the combination of stalker and fan derived from the 2000 song
Eminem.
of the same name by Eminem.
Got it. No, I would not have gotten that.
That's why his name was Stan. He's a stalker fan. All
Makes
right.
sense. Yep, I remember that song.
Brian's still not on the board. Him and Dougie are warm and soft in last place. Going to Silent Destroyer. Yours is Touch Grass. Can you
that's
enlighten
easy.
me?
Man,
In a
That's
sentence.
easy.
Yeah,
the man
he
who
needs to go
streams
touch
every
grass.
day. probably
I
gets
get
the-
told that
Dude,
every
he needs
day.
to go touch
I
grass.
get told that every day. Touch grass means leave your house, go outside, and be in the sun and literally touch grass. That's what
There
it
we
is.
go. At least you know. The guy that needs to touch grass, at least he knows. A way of telling someone to go outside, usually after said person is believed to have been on social media for too long. Believed to have originated in 2015 before experiencing its resurgence in 2020 and 2021. AKA when we were all trapped inside. Go outside,
Go touch
get some
grass.
fresh air. All right, Silent and David are standing strong at the front here.
Standing strong, you mean?
Yeah, and I should have I screwed up. I needed to give Silent the opportunity to steal your
Well, no
point.
one
So
gets
I
an
got to remember
opportunity.
that for the next round.
Okay, yeah.
All right, going then to Doug. Can you enlighten me the word wig? You always wig whenever you write a song.
Freak out. Get upset. Obsess.
That is the common use of the colloquial term, but the definition the kids use. Wait, I got to give Ricky the chance to steal it.
Yeah, give Ricky. Are you gonna steal again?
No steal. No steal.
All right, wig is to do something so well as to make one's wig fly off, unrelated to wig out. Originated from Black LGBT ballroom culture, American singer Katy Perry is generally credited with propagating the word into the mainstream after using it to compliment a contestant on American Idol in 2018.
Wait, so am I wrong?
You were
Yes.
Like
wrong.
she got excited.
Unrelated to wig out, it means to do something so well as to make one's wig fly
You
off.
killed it.
But that isn't that what I
No.
said
No.
freak out. Like she freaked out so much her wig fell off.
No. You're doing an action so good. Your
I
wig
think they're
falls off.
still so similar.
And that's why you're stuck in the
That's
past,
why
old
I'm
man.
old as shit.
All right.
Those ankle socks are really showing right now.
All right, let's go to Ricky. Your word is, remember, Ricky, if you lose this, you're going to fall behind. We're at zesty. He's acting
bro.
zesty.
When you acting fruity, bro. When you acting sus, bro. Why you zesty, bro? You so zest, bro.
Popularized in 2022 on TikTok, it means effeminately or flamboyantly gay. Perfect for June. Ricky's right. Man, all right, gang. We are going into a tight third round. Now, Doug and Brian's participation is important because it can allow one of the people in our three-way tie to potentially steal a point and break this tie. So, going into our third round with our tie between Silent Destroyer, Ricky, and David, we're going to start with David, who, again, is significantly impressing us compared to the last time we played this game.
Got a little
This
younger.
is one that excites me. This would really show how hip you are or how removed you are. Can you tell me what Sigma means?
Can you use it in a sentence?
He is so Sigma.
Oh. It's the opposite of alpha. You're like a Sigma male.
You're going to go with opposite of alpha.
Yes.
All right. I'm going to give it to Brian to steal.
Son of a bitch.
Can you tell me what
Sigma
Sigma
balls.
means?
He's so Sigma.
I know this. Let me give you a guess.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, I got
I was
nothing.
doing so well too.
We're only going to go back one person to give it a steal. So Sigma is an independent male on the top of the social hierarchy from the Greek letter sigma, often used above alpha in the numerical tier list. So it is the step above alpha. You are the alpha of alphas.
Alex, if I had said you're the super
Alpha, sure.
Yeah, with that, okay, I would have gotten that then.
The old
Boom.
S tier.
That was my thought. As you said that, I'm like,
Doug
he's
would have
the
got
super.
it. Doug
That-
would have
I would have gotten that.
Chicken
I need
Caesar
the proof.
salad. Doug would have
I
got
need
it.
the proof on the record. I would have gotten one.
There it is. All right. Going to Brian, who's not going to get this one, Chugi.
So I was going through the list before the show, and I was like, there's like 4 or 10 here that I'm like, please don't be me. And
Chugi.
the last few have been,
It's been all you.
Can I just give me a sentence? What do you got?
Chugi. Sarah still wears Uggs all the time. That's so Chugi.
That might be one of the better sentences you've given us.
All right. Sarah still wears Chugi Uggs. All right. She is Chugi. All right. Let's go with out of date.
Oh.
All right. You're 100% got that.
All right.
I was going to give it to the people, to the panel of people here to decide, but truthfully, it says outdated. Yep. Another way to describe aesthetics, people, experiences that are basic. This term often describes a person, let's face it, millennials, who are outdated or considered to be trying too hard. That was the definition given to me. It originated from Gen Z users on TikTok. So they're coming at us. They're coming at us. Us
Pretty hard.
Yeah.
It's
All right.
relentless right now.
People.
I'm really not feeling hip.
All right. Okay. So, Silent, this can give you an opportunity to pull ahead of David or keep it even.
Let's
And
share second place
unfortunately,
together.
you weren't here for the first time we played this game. So, can you give me the definition of mew or mewing? Used in a sentence, sorry, can't talk. I'm trying to learn how to mew.
Mewing is when you close your mouth and you press your tongue on your teeth. It's done so that it can give you jaw-like muscles on your face.
My guy is hip. Silent Destroyer is not old yet. He has knocked it out of the park all 3 rounds.
Not yet.
So, keeping it alive, keeping it young, keeping it hip, we still got a competition to play. Dougie Fresh. If you can get this right, you can hold Ricky's opportunity to dunk 2 points here. Otherwise, if you get it right, Ricky at best can tie Silent Destroyer. Number 14 for you is going to be Finsta. She posted silly selfies and behind-the-scenes moments on her Finsta.
Oh.
If he can't steal it, I will. I can steal this
one.
Ricky will.
Instagram?
I think Ricky's already gotten a steal.
Instagram is not it. So is that the definition you're going to go with?
Oh, that's where I'll go with, man. I'm old.
All right, Ricky, can you steal the point?
Finsta. See, Finsta. Let me get that sentence again, brother.
She posted silly selfies and behind-the-scene moments on her Finsta.
I
guess I feel a little
social
better.
media, like fuck.
This one's been around for a while.
I mean,
All right. We still got a competition. Ricky missed the point. It is a combination of the words fake and Instagram, referring to a secondary or private Instagram account that users create to share content with similar, more selective audiences that can go unmonitored. The new generation finding new ways to enjoy.
Though. Shouldn't that be
Instagram.
pretty close? Shouldn't that be a point?
No, you just said Instagram.
Doug, stop defending your point. Your microphone's off now. So there you go. All right. This goes to Ricky.
All right. Let's see,
Ricky,
man.
This is your chance.
What the
You
fuck is
at
it?
best can go into the final round, sudden death, with Silent Destroyer. Your word is mogging. In a sentence, I wonder if Jar realized he's mogging everyone in the weight room. It's Jared, but I said Jar for us.
So, wait, say that over again for me one more time.
I wonder if Jar realizes he's mogging everyone in the weight room.
I wonder if having standing everybody up.
One-upping someone on appearance and attractiveness. I'm going to give it to him. I'm going to give it to him because I'm itching to take it to this last round. Ricky, that was close enough. It comes from the acronym AMOG, or alpha male of the group. Mogging.
See, I still got my pop locking moves, bro. My bones don't crack, dog. Come on, man. Good.
Jar is not an alpha male.
Oh my God.
All right.
Doug wouldn't
Silent,
say that to
let's
him
go.
if he was here, and I didn't say it to his face.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
So that makes it kind of true.
I would.
He's kind of an alpha male. All right. Bonus round, tiebreaker between the two.
Oh.
First one to yell. I don't know. We need like a buzzer. What could the buzzer be? I don't know. Just yell it out. Do either of you know the definition for Skibbity Ohio Riz?
Just some old-fashioned Midwest Riz, man. I don't know.
Silent Destroyer, can you steal it?
It is a thing on TikTok that it's a trend where people would say that they're from Ohio and that Ohio is like the best place in the world.
Which is fact.
I mean, that's true.
Actually, I was going to have one of the words be Ohio because one of the Gen Z term Ohio means dumb, stupid, forgotten, inferior.
Yep.
And that's how the kids are using Ohio. And now I'm giving you a big hint. So who can take another stab?
Can I take this for the win?
Hold on. Are you all going to step out? Who's going to step up? Take one last guess.
Let me get. You have another hint? Oh, so you already gave it to us. You already gave it to us. See,
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna take another guess at it. I'm gonna say like someone that doesn't have good riz or game or charisma, as they say.
Okay, give it to us.
Shit. That's probably what I was gonna say too.
Oh my god! All right, can you pull up? There's one video that's still left,
and like
this
is
like
nonsense.
This is Mr. Lindsay. He's a middle school teacher, and he does videos for teachers or parents so they can know the crazy shit that their kids are saying. So let's break it down for us, Mr. Lindsay.
What does it mean and why are kids saying it? Mr. Lindsay here back to define all the things that your middle schoolers are saying. We know what skibbity means, we know what Ohio means, we know what Riz means, but what does it mean when they're all together? Skibbity means something bad, Ohio is something cringy, Riz means your ability to flirt. So when we put them all together, skibbity, Ohio, Riz, it just basically means that your Riz, your ability to flirt, your charisma is trash. Or to draw on another term, dog water. If someone's trying to get a girl's number and they fail, their friends will say, skibbity, Ohio, Riz, bruh. So to say that somebody's a grizzly bear is the greatest form of flattery for middle schoolers. But to say if somebody has skibbity, Ohio, Riz is the greatest form of insult. So parents, teachers, if your students say that you have skibbity, Ohio, Riz, it means they think you have no game. Like if somebody's trying to get solid.
Alex, all I can think about is when I came to visit you in college and your one friend goes, "Oh, that Ohio boy." Because like they were just picturing, because they're from Pennsylvania. Oh, that Ohio guy is just a farm boy. Screw him.
From Pennsylvania, of all places.
So let's get back to what we were getting at. So first off, skibbity toilet and all that is from this like meme video of a guy's head in like a digital toilet. It's a series of it's literally chapters and chapters of videos on YouTube. There's new ones coming out. The kids are obsessed with it. And it's like a war of these like heads in toilets versus can't remember the other characters. It's really just like meme culture.
It's the
none of it
annoying
makes
orange.
sense, and that's what makes them like it even more. And the toilet people are just like walking around skibbity toilet, just saying all this dumb crap, and the kids love it. Skibbity poopy toilet, all that stuff. So that's a whole element to it. The skibbity thing. Ohio. I hate that we've become this meme. Like, what is going on? At first, there was an actual piece to it where like people were thinking it was cool to be in Ohio. Then very quickly, it just became a meme of like all those trash people. They all live in Ohio. And so like now Ohio in the meme world embodies like 100% of like the connotation of flyover states. Like really just all the flyover states is just Ohio. And that's our connotation. And Riz, I mean, we all know what Riz is. That's the hot word now. But I don't even think you knew what that was when we did it in the last game. You let me down.
Well, I got younger this round.
You did. You got younger because you crushed it this week. Yeah. So hats off to Silent Destroyer for being our victor today.
Way to go, Silent.
Yes. Let's go.
Let's go.
Silent Destroyer is not old yet. The rest of us in this room,
Not yet.
Jury is still
I feel it now.
I'm like the youngest one in the room, I think.
feel it in the bones 10 minutes later.
100%. So, yeah, go ahead, Brian.
I cannot wait for the younger kids. I'm calling them kids because that's what the whole basis of the game is. I cannot wait for them to be 30 and have the younger generation call them out for being old and not feeling old, and just how that feels.
It's almost like all of the
gracious.
parents told us the exact same thing. It's almost like it's just the cycle of life.
It's just the cycle. Our parents told us the same thing, and it's just crazy.
Yeah.
It's a circle of life. That's literally what it is. It's just a like, rite of passage for people, you know?
Right, exactly. So let's land this plane. I appreciate you guys playing along because that's what made it fun. Silent coming out victorious. Now, we've got, it came tight. The reigning champ taking on the new blood, and the new blood came over here and took over. I love it. So let's give it to Silent Destroyer. Silent, floor is yours. Tell the folks where they can find you. Let's land this plane.
As always, thank you guys for having me. This was a fantastic show. I had a blast. I had a great time. I'm live every single day on kick.com/Silent Destroyer.
I love it. I love it. And Ricky, while you're there, tell them where they can find you.
Man, just another day TV. For every given day, the light, click it. It's there for you. Appreciate y'all, boys.
Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Guys, thank you again for joining us. I appreciate everybody that hung around with us for this long. Man, we took it late, but again, we go live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. So you could join us here. But Brian and I also do a live show on Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. Eastern time, where it's your palate cleanser. We look at all the craziness and reflect on the videos of the internet and have a good laugh. So if you want to wake up and enjoy some fun and, like I said, have a palate cleanser for your week, start off on a strong foot, join us live in the mornings for Rethink Actions. Otherwise, guys, between the podcast, the live shows, and all the content that come at you every week, you can find it all in one central place, and that's our website at www.rethinktankpodcast.com. Don't forget, the whole purpose of the live show is to get you involved, and we want to have you add that element to our perspective, so we're not just stuck here in our echo chambers. So be sure to comment, and again, all the guys here logging in each week and putting in the work. The best way you could show support for what we're doing, if we made you laugh, if we made you think, the best thing you could do is to share that link. So if you liked it, that means somebody else will too. So please go ahead, text it, share it, put it on your social media, spread it around. It costs nothing, but it's what keeps the lights on in this place. And so we greatly appreciate your support. If it isn't for you, we got nothing. So guys, we'll catch you next week live. Peace.